to the ATI Podcast with Barrett and Josh.
Hey miss, I tried to reach you or to imagine you being busy. Why must this always be such a struggle? Why must you always have things your way?
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. We are on episode 7.
Unbelievable.
We're going to be talking a little pro wrestling today.
Hell yeah.
We just want to start off by saying thanks for checking us out once again. Thanks for checking us out last week. It was kind of an emotional episode, and we've been getting some amazing feedback about the episode, and I'm glad for that. But more importantly, I'm glad that we were able to honor the memory of a dear friend and compatriot and
Absolutely.
a guy that was involved in this thing back in the day. Today, specifically, we are going to be welcoming our guest onto the show, Jake Jackson, to talk about historical pro wrestling fandom. So we're going to talk about our own fandom back in the day, kind of the Attitude Era, Golden Era stuff that probably got us started initially. And then we're going to kind of talk a little bit about the current state of pro wrestling, but then kind of focus in on the WrestleMania 38 card coming up in Dallas, Texas here in the next week.
It'll be cool to be brought up to speed for me. I think I
Sure.
talked about this last episode, but I've been out of it for so long. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm looking forward to this. Pretty excited. It'll be good.
We also want to mention and announce that we are actually on multiple new platforms for podcasting as well while we're at it. We are now on Pandora. We're on Amazon Music. We are on Audible, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Castbox, and Radio Public. So we are on all of those platforms.
You name
now.
it. You can find us.
Yeah.
Whatever suits your fancy.
Basically, at this point, you can go to Google and type in ATI Podcast, and we dominate a majority of the first page
Yeah.
that comes up now. So I think I just did a random scat Google search yesterday, late in the day, and we already had 7 of the top 12 links.
Oh, good.
For a
Good.
mixture there. So
That's good.
as far as listings are concerned, and that's only going to get better going forward because now we have some other things to announce. So Josh has been hard at work getting our episodes uploaded to YouTube. So we found a format that we like there, and we are on YouTube now as well. If you prefer to listen to us that way, that's fine. Outside of just the audio that's going to be on there, we'll be working on putting up some exclusive clips and things of that ilk on some of these video on demand type platforms.
You can find episodes part 1 and 2, 2, 3, and 4 on YouTube right now. I'm doing a couple little special things for video 5 and 6, obviously for the Cato Memorial.
Right.
I want to make sure to pop some extra stuff in there, maybe some photos, memories, stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
And then also like with a couple of our guest videos, I want to try to get some pictures of maybe some of the stuff that they do, or some of their music or
Absolutely.
album covers, stuff like that. So those will be coming as soon as I get them done.
Yeah, so we're going to try and infuse in some examples of work. I know we've been sharing them on the social media posts and feeds and that sort of stuff, and some of the sub comments, if you will. And we've been making it a point to share some of the work on our stories, on Instagram in particular as well. So you're gonna be seeing all these people's work beyond just us talking about it from episode to episode, and we're going
Right.
to try and keep those things corresponding together to help promote them. And that's one of the big mission statements of this podcast, obviously, is we're trying to get other people, we're trying to be a catapult for other people in their work. Also, we just created a TikTok. Josh, you want to hit them with what that is?
Yeah, it's going to be at ATI Podcast. That's going to be the @ symbol, ATI Podcast. And that's on TikTok.
So you'll be able to find us on TikTok now. We are still getting things online there. So there might be a little lack of content initially, but if TikTok is your social media deal, you can find us there now, and we'll be uploading stuff there as well.
Heck yeah.
Of course, if you have a question for the show, hit us up at ATI Podcast Questions. And we talked about the things upcoming on the show on the last few episodes, but just a quick rundown of that again. We're going to be dropping some exclusive classic content from the show back in the day from the original run. That's going to help set the table. So we actually talked about doing some conspiracy theory type stuff, secret societies, that sort of stuff. We've actually got an old episode that's just kind of a little cherry dangler, if you will. And I thought it would be appropriate for us to drop that as an exclusive piece of content
Yeah.
going forward. So we're We're going to drop that as one of our exclusive classic segments in that regard. We're also going to have Jason J. Asbury from Bastard Storm Ruler and Broke Neck, and then again he's recorded on the more recent Harkonnen album on drums. He's going to be in the studio with us, and we're going to be discussing his upcoming endeavors. We did share on our story today, specifically the Storm Ruler tour that's coming up starting in late April. We're going to talk about that a little bit more extensively.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a North American tour, so it's pretty credible shit right there. So pretty excited about that. Happy to get him on here and promote that. We're also going to have our buddy Jesus Rose on here as well. We talked about him. And then we might have some more additional special announcements coming forward. But as far as big news and getting things started off today, we feel like it's pretty big news, kind of our exposure and us getting on these other platforms that we talked about earlier. And we'd be so happy if you'd follow us if those are your preferred means. You know, whether it's Amazon Music or CastBox. I know I used CastBox back in the day with the Android phones. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can't miss us. We're the big two goofy grinning bastards with the yellow background, so you can't miss that. So without further ado, we're going to get off to our guest, Mr. Babyface Jake Jackson. We'll see you on the other side. So we have our friend, the Babyface Jake Jackson,
Welcome,
making a
sir.
run-in
Welcome.
on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We're happy to have you, sir. We have no better guest, I feel like, for the subject matter today. Jake and I actually tried to start a wrestling podcast back in the day. He knew a lot about wrestling. I know quite a bit as well, just by accident at least, or having been on this earth longer than him.
Yeah.
But it's always good. It's a nice little escape, pro wrestling.
Absolutely. It's, people talk about, why do you watch it? It's fake. It's like,
Right.
Well, isn't your favorite TV show fake?
Right.
The only thing that's fake about pro wrestling is the storylines.
Right.
It's like legitimately a hybrid of sports and acting.
Right.
So,
For sure.
And that's kind of where, like, I am with it now. Like, I loved it so much when I was a kid. I kind of fell onto that bandwagon, like, oh my God, the storytelling is terrible, and
Right.
But nothing will take away from the fact that these guys are athletes and they beat the hell out of each other every time they go out there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
you're
cannot
getting
take
punched,
that away
you're
from
taking a
pro
chair to the
wrestler.
back,
Right.
You can't work a chair too much.
And those apron spots that they do all the time now literally
Yeah.
sends chills down my spine because I feel it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
my least favorite bump that wrestlers take.
Yeah.
Apron
Especially on top of the head.
Yeah, not a fan.
Those are pretty brutal. So
What was that face sit move that you sent me the other day? What's that one called?
Oh, that was like a split leg deal. That new chick in NXT that everybody's going on about, that big thick girl.
Oh, I gave her a follow on Twitter. the
Yeah.
other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're becoming a fan.
Become big fan.
You were telling me about our OnlyFans too. I mean, I'm just joking.
I was going to say, she has one.
I have no idea.
Yeah, they can't
That is
WWE, but
unconfirmed.
they can't
unconfirmed.
in WWE. But I'm sure she was on the independents now, like many of the pro wrestling ladies are doing.
Oh,
So,
I'm sure.
what originally brought you to wrestling, Jake?
Okay, well, another good friend of the show, my brother, Ridge Jackson.
Yeah. Rich is gonna be on sometime.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Ray
He and my dad watched a lot of the Monday Night Wars, so I was really young for that. Like,
Right.
I vaguely remember the dying days of WCW. We watched that a lot. Ridge
Sure.
had all the figures, and so I would try to sneak into his room and go play with the figures because I thought they were cool. So, and at that, they had to put a lock on his door because I would always try to break in. And then I was watching regularly at like 4, so that's like 2001.
Right.
Like, and I was at preschool. I don't know if I should admit this or not, but
Yeah.
I saw China and like girls and the guys and girls fighting each other. So I thought, at preschool that you could wrestle the
no.
women.
Right.
Oh,
And so
no.
I wrestled.
Little intergender action going on.
Yeah. I wrestled a girl at school and got in trouble and I didn't watch. I wasn't allowed to watch until about 2004 again. And it was because it wasn't like the current product, is because
Right.
my dad took me to Country Mart in Ironton, and they used to have VHSs for sale.
Right.
Like wherever, and he bought me a 2 VHS tape of WrestleMania 4, and that's what started it all. So like WrestleMania 4
That's cool.
is like the most pay-per-view I've watched probably ever because of that. So that's really when I was about 8 years old, and I started watching all classic stuff. It wasn't current until like a couple years later.
Sure. So you kind of got in on the tail end, I guess, of the golden era there with WrestleMania 4.
Yeah.
And then, when I was younger, my dad worked at TWA, and he would see famous people sometimes. So, and St. Louis has always been a big wrestling town. So he saw Jake the Snake. He met Ric Flair. He would help. Even some of them like lost their luggage before, and he helped them there. It was either Jake the Snake or Ric Flair. I can't recall which, but he went around the airport at TWA with them for an hour, helping them find their luggage and everything, and getting with baggage claim and all that jazz. So my dad would tell me these stories when I'm younger, and we didn't really watch wrestling. So I'm saying I'm probably like 4-ish or so. And then Hulk Hogan does Rocky 3, and I'm like, well, who's that?
Right. The Hulkster, baby.
That's right.
Brother.
So, and that's a lot. I mean, Hulk, along with Vince, made it national,
Right.
They started the pay-per-view business as far as wrestling, pro wrestling was concerned, and things of that ilk. So they're the ones who took it national, and therefore is what the reason that most of us probably are fans today, whether directly or indirectly, is the popularity that it started to gain when they went national, and Vince started taking some of those good wrestlers like the Jake the Snakes and what have you from territories.
Right.
So what kind of got me into it too was right as they were getting more popular, even into the early 90s, and they were starting to start Monday Night War in particular. Then you started seeing some smaller performers advance, people like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and I thought, well, I might not be able to look like Hulk Hogan, but maybe I could look like one of those guys, right?
Hell yeah.
Which, in my opinion, those guys were shredded compared to a
Sure.
lot of guys now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that tells you how big these guys were back then.
Right. And they were small for their group, and they're all like 6', 6'1", so that tells you kind of today's talent, a lot of it's a lot smaller. So, these cool guys that oozed cool, Shawn Michaels was out doing the, suck it signs and everything else, that kind of was later, as it went into the DX stuff, but Bret Hart just oozed cool. He was on The Simpsons, and The Simpsons was always my favorite show. So he was on an episode of Simpsons, and that also made him even cooler to me. And you could play him at there was a WrestleMania arcade at the old Spitzmiller's Realty that you could play. And we would go, when my dad was in there too busy talking to the ladies working, I'd go over there and I'd get on the WrestleMania arcade. I'd beat Bret Hart every time.
Give me some quarters, bro. I got to go over here and be Bret Hart.
That's awesome.
But what really set my fandom up to another level was the Attitude Era. So Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, probably my favorite professional wrestler of all time. And then his feuds with The Rock, legendary, obviously. Undertaker.
Mankind.
Yeah, Mankind, as well as Kane.
Right.
All that stuff was booming.
Is he still mayor?
Yes, of Knox County, Tennessee.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
he's got other political aspirations as well.
Oh, God, he's going to run for, Senate?
There's rumor that he wants to be president. Is his end game.
But isn't he like a libertarian or something?
He is a libertarian, yes, for sure. And he got some heat lately on social media. Got into it with a lot of the AEW people and stuff because he was just using a lot of, conservative nowadays jargon, the zingers that they go to about snowflakes and this and that.
Right.
And equating liberals
libtards and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or equating liberals to people in Saudi Arabia or Iran or, So, yeah, that was quite the interesting little exchange. And I think Adam Page from AEW got involved in that as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and said something about to the effect of him taking too many chair shots, or put up a gif of him getting chair shots to the head without his hands up and that sort of stuff, alluding to the fact he's got concussion issues.
I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah. So that kind of talks some about my favorite pro wrestlers growing up. And, later on, I kind of probably fell out of my wrestling fandom, and my, I'd say 15-ish, but then me and my brother hooked up with another set of brothers that were way into wrestling too, and they had all the WCW tapes, which
Hell yeah.
I didn't have at the time, so I only saw WWF stuff. And so then I started getting into your Booker T's, your Stings, your Goldbergs, so on and so forth, and learned about this whole other world. And that's where Hulk Hogan went all those years, and that sort of stuff.
Did you meet him at JCPenney?
I did not.
I did.
Unfortunately.
I've heard. I think Ridge did, and I was like, he was at Farmington, Missouri.
Absolutely.
that happened
And let me tell you a
few
fact
times.
about Bill Goldberg. He is not as tall as you would think he is. The dude shredded. Huge guy.
Yeah.
Not as tall as
Yeah,
you
he's
think
only
he is.
like what, 6'1", maybe 6'2"?
He's 6'1" or
I
2,
expected
yeah.
to see this dude and him be like 8 foot tall. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, well, he ain't that tall, you know. But I was like, but he is shredded. So
Yeah.
you gotta respect it.
If I could kick your ass today, man. he's
And
still
it was
shredded.
actually cool because they had like a ring set up outside JCPenney's, if I remember correctly, and there was like some up and coming wrestlers out there tossing each other around and stuff, and they had like concessions set up. To show you how long ago this was, Coast to Coast Music was still open there in Maple Valley, and I remember going in there and hanging out when that was going on. So yeah, that's just going to show you how long ago that was. That was really neat though that he came to.
Yeah, that was in the
Farmington.
late 90s. I remember when it happened because like I so badly wanted my parents to take me, and they didn't and wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I was just like so mad at them forever because I couldn't go. Like I'm pretty sure Stone Cold came down here at some point as well.
Yeah, I don't.
That's just bananas to me.
Yeah, like I know Goldberg did. I know there was somebody else prominent about the similar amount of time.
Was it DDP?
It might have been Sting or DDP. Yeah, could have been
Diamond
I
DDP.
think I've heard
Page.
DDP before.
But they would come down. Yeah, it was JCPenney's
Yeah.
each time that somebody came down. But I was pretty confident WWE did something to rival the Goldberg thing in the area.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Bill Goldberg driving to Farmington, Missouri, especially 25 years ago?
He'd be like, "Where the hell are
Yeah.
we, dude?"
I mean, it's there's not much there now, but think about 25 years ago, it was way worse back in the day.
Yeah. All I wanted him to do was just like come walking out of that room before he started signing signatures, getting blasted with sparks. That's all I
Yeah.
wanted.
Security.
Yeah, security knocking on his door, and he's bashed his head against it.
I'm like, come
Psych
on,
himself.
walk out like that.
What a
Speaking
badass.
of Goldberg, he was one of my favorites growing up. But now that I realize all of my favorites are growing up were terrible wrestlers. Like I loved the Ultimate Warrior because bright colors and he ran fast and he shook the ropes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Acting like a
Goldberg,
madman.
because he just beat the shit out of everybody.
Right.
And I guess the best worker that I liked as a kid that was my favorite was Sting. But Sting's not like out of this world as a
No, but
worker.
he's had some very competent. I mean,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm very impressed with him now because he's wrestling in AEW and he's in his 60s.
Yeah.
Right, and
He's,
he's still
and
tossing dudes
He's a
around.
senior citizen jumping
Yes.
jumping on the tables.
Jumping off fucking
That's what I'm
balconies on the
saying
three
with wrestlers,
tables stacked
man.
on top of each other.
Regardless of what you say about the sport and how it's scripted and everything, you can't take anything away from them as far as them being incredible athletes, dude.
Without question. And even
So-
the people that look out of shape are fantastic. Kevin Owens, prime example of WWE.
I would love to look like Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is, he looks like any dad here in Farmington, HVAC general
Right.
contractor, journeyman laborer,
I mean, he's actually like lost weight and he looks like he works out now. Like he's not.
Yeah, he's not a total schlub, but he's
Yeah.
he's definitely not on the cover of Men's Health.
Yeah, no, neither was.
By
I
any
mean,
means.
That's and like Chris Jericho. I know people were giving him shit
Right,
for being fat, but
Right.
like if I was 50, I would take that body.
Oh,
Yeah, but you see what he looks like now.
I'm
Yeah.
32 and I
Yeah,
would
all
take that
kinds of
body.
cut up. Yeah,
Ab implants, apparently. That's what everybody on Twitter keeps saying.
Okay, wait.
that's
what?
a bunch of bullshit.
Chris
How do you-
Jericho
There ain't
has
no way.
implants?
No, people are saying he has ab implants.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
The washboard implants.
because he looks jacked, like yoked and cut.
He always had those ab muscles. He just finally lost all the fat and got with a dietitian.
And
all them
chilled out on
carbs.
the Grey Goose.
Yeah.
But I love
carbs.
Chris Jericho. He's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you talked about some of what your favorites were, Jake, like the Ultimate Warrior. And
Yeah.
and then you went on to Goldberg. But did your fandom fall off whenever WCW closed, or when did you kind of pick back up with it?
Well, I picked back up watching the WrestleMania pay-per-view, and then I wasn't watching much of the current product, and my dad would take me to this place in Fredericktown called Highway Video, and they had this large wrestling pay-per-view collection. And
Yeah.
every weekend I would just go and rent old pay-per-views, and that's really how I started watching again in like 2005, 6
Yeah.
is when I really started watching WWE again, and TNA. I was pretty early on TNA as well.
Yeah, I actually ordered the first TNAs, so like when it was
like
kind of video on
$9.99,
demand
right?
system, yeah. I hadn't seen wrestling in a little while. I kind of fell off, and I saw it pop up on pay-per-view, and it was like $9.99 at the time. And I asked my dad, "Can I get this?" And he was like, "Well, what is it?" And I told him what it was. I was like, "It's got a bunch of wrestlers in it that I haven't seen in forever." So like Scott Hall was on the first one, for example, and I was like, "Oh man, he's on there. It's Razor Ramon." Blah blah blah. He's like, "All right, I guess he just caved and let me get a couple of them initially when it started." So that was really cool to see TNA, but I fell off on it.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it because it had a lot of WCW guys.
Right, exactly.
And that's really what I first
Sure.
And WCW Mayhem, the video game, I know people shit on it, but I played that game
Yeah.
all the time.
We played any wrestling game we could ever get our hands on, regardless if it was good, bad, or in between.
Absolutely.
That was my favorite game, even though it's considered the worst. Because Ridge had it and he gave it to me, and also Ridge gave me my second pay-per-view that I got into out of all things, 1999 Road Wild. Not
Yeah.
a great pay-per-view.
No.
But it was. I had it, and
But
I
again,
can
it
tell
has
you,
a lot of your favorites
the
in there.
opening match was Insane Clown Posse and Vampiro versus Raven, and I forgot the
It's
other.
Raven's flock.
And then
I forgot about ICP doing wrestling.
Dennis
stuff.
Rodman versus Macho Man.
Yeah.
Goldberg and Rick Steiner. Like, it was an interesting card for sure.
I think the last crazy antic I've seen as far as wrestling was the Gronkowski thing.
Yeah, the
Gronkowski
24/7 thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the last.
He hosted, so that was the pandemic WrestleMania.
Okay.
He hosted on that show. And
I
yeah.
gotcha.
So he actually had a contract with WWE, and they were going to do stuff with him, kind of like what they're doing with Pat McAfee now, I think.
Right.
But he had a multi-million dollar and multi-year contract with WWE. And then after the pandemic hit, and shortly after that WrestleMania, they cut his contract, and then he went back to football.
Yeah.
Because he did take that whole season off before he came back.
Well, and when the GOAT asked you to come back, you come
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no question.
back. Right.
Speaking of comebacks, that old bastard come back out of retirement.
Dude, I don't give a
I
shit.
love it. He's getting an 8.
Listen,
And he's getting Blaine number 2. He's getting Blaine Gabbert his second Super Bowl ring.
that
go,
shit,
Tom.
that shit was
Yeah.
so
Mizzou
planned.
alumni.
I
Absolutely.
don't care what anybody says.
Oh,
That
yeah.
dude knew what he was doing. And the guy that bought the $500,000 last Tom Brady touchdown pass ball,
Yeah.
looks like a real asshole right now.
Did you see that Tom Brady actually posted on Twitter? It was Twitter or Instagram about getting that guy
He sent his money back?
$500,000 in Bitcoin
Well, there you go.
or whatever one he's promoting.
The GOAT
himself.
is redeeming himself then, so that's
So
fine.
he was whatever company it is that he promotes or has an endorsement with. He like added them and was like, "Hey, what can we do about getting him 500,000?" And
Well, that makes me
So-
feel better about it then. I'm not
Yeah.
as salty about that then.
I figured he probably would do something about it just because of the attention that it was getting, and he
Right.
seems like a decent human being outside the fact, he cheated and
Yeah.
all the other things that he did.
I would do
Deflate
exactly
them balls.
everything that he did. I sidebar for sports, but people act like they have this highest moral regard for like
Stole a
sports
Super
and
Bowl
life.
from the Rams.
Like-
Let's not forget that.
The
Yeah.
baseball, like, hey, guess what? If they're not testing for it, hey, shoot me in the ass with some steroids. I want to hit a lot of home runs. I want to recover from injuries.
That's a different discussion.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's a
it's
tangent.
like the
That's
cheating.
tangent.
And
We get
stuff.
back to wrestling.
Speaking of
Yeah.
steroids, actually wrestling, I guess so. Kind of a part of the reason that people like the Bret Harts and the Shawn Michaels, we should mention, came to prominence because Vince was in the middle of the steroid trial in like '93-ish, I want to say, and they intentionally were making a move and a pivot away from people that looked really roided up. Now look at Shawn Michaels in '97 when he gives you a double gun flex. He was
Right.
obviously on something.
He's on the gas for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got the armbands about ready to bust off the side
Absolutely.
of his arms, right?
So, and I think, almost all wrestlers have been pretty open about it, at least at this point. It's just kind of common knowledge or whatever. But that's the reason they made that shift with pushing guys like that. Guys like them never had the world titles. I mean, you're talking, Brett was probably the smallest champion with perhaps the exception of Bob Backlund, but I'd say they're probably pretty similar in size or build,
Yeah.
at least his height. So the steroids kind of caused a shift in wrestling. That's kind of perhaps why we ended up liking some of the people that we did. But after that faded, the Attitude Era popped off. I feel like it was like pretty prominent like taking advantage that is of kind of the shock jock radio shit with like Howard Stern, for example, because they had writers like Vince Russo who became pretty.
That's his influence is Howard Stern.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I had no problem with it at the time. And
Shout
honestly,
out Beetlejuice.
I don't have any problem with it now.
Howard
As
Stern's still an
popular or
inspiration.
unpopular that is. One of my favorite things about wrestling sometimes is just the grotesquely absurd shit that happens.
Right.
It's so ridiculous.
Choppy pee-pee.
Choppy Mr. PP is definitely at the top of the list for me. Where Val Venus almost gets his dick cut off by a shoot.
Dick to go.
Yeah, dick to go.
Oh, Val
a
Venus.
stable of Japanese people.
Forgot about Val Venus.
Who actually were really good wrestlers, and they were.
Yeah.
I love, they were treated like jokes, but I love
Funaki was in that group, was he not?
Funaki, Taka,
Was that the guys
Taka
with the crazy?
Michinoku.
which Taka is.
Headdress.
The Michinoku driver. That's
Right.
He invented that.
Right.
Dick to go and Mr. Yamaguchi, and I think that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about now.
So another absurd thing that happened back in the day was the hand baby incident.
Oh, which wasn't Vince Russo. He gets so mad.
Was that Ed Ferrara?
It was 2000, so they were in W. It was like
It was a few months after he was out.
Yeah.
No, it might have been Tommy Plancha. I think there was somebody like kind of in between the two of them.
Okay, but Russo gets firing mad when people blame the Mae Young hand on him.
Another hilarious thing was Mark Henry was having relations with the transgender person, and when they found out, he freaked out about it. That happened too. It was a part of the whole sexual chocolate stuff.
Oh, I
that they
don't
were doing.
remember that one, actually.
Oh, dude,
I
you
gotta
gotta go back and
watch
see
it.
that. They fucking straight clowned on Mark Henry so many times.
no.
Like,
Sexual chocolate.
for him to have had the career, I mean, he's a talented guy, but for him to have finally had the career in the championships that he had more toward the end of his career, like, to go back and see him doing that shit, it's night and day, though. That's my point.
Mark Henry has top 10, for me personally, top 10 swerve of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Salmon jacket.
His retirement.
That is one of my favorite moments in wrestling because I legit thought he was retired.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite promos, actually. It's pretty underrated. I occasionally, like when it hits the anniversary of it, it seems like it always makes its rounds on social media again, and I usually watch it in its entirety, which is, rare for me.
I got a lot left in the tank. That was what I was saying during the Buccaneers and Rams game.
Oh, yeah.
When they were coming back.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to any pay-per-views?
My first
Back in the day?
pay-per-view was when I was 16, 2013, with Derek Hankins. I think you've met him. He's a manager wrestler on the Indies.
Yeah.
He came over to the house.
Yeah.
Interesting guy. Love him. But he took me to my first pay-per-view for my 16th birthday.
Nice.
Extreme Rules 2013. And it wasn't really extreme. It was a very mid pay-per-view. The most notable thing was that Fandango beat Chris Jericho. It was during that time where Fandango was...
yeah.
He beat him at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he beat... And then I think it was... That's the only match I remember is because I was like, who the fuck is this Fandango guy? Because I wasn't watching all the time.
Right.
And I was a big Chris Jericho fan. And I was like, he's going to lose to this Dancing with the Stars jabroni.
Right.
Right.
Right. That was the gimmick, was the Dancing with the Stars. And then they turned him, like... ambiguously gay or whatever things that they try to do occasionally.
Which I loved him and Breezango. I loved Breezango.
Oh, I loved Breezango. Whenever they were doing the Twin Peaks-esque investigation stuff on
Fashion
SmackDown,
Police.
the Fashion Police.
They have Arn Anderson with them.
Yes,
The
it was
Ascension.
fantastic.
Whether the Ascension got to show them character and whatnot. But yeah, that's the first event I ever went to. It was Extreme Rules 2013.
Right. So did you go to pay-per-views routinely after that, or...
No, I think the next event that I went to which is a big moment for me in wrestling, as you guys, Barrett knows, I'm a huge Kurt Hawkins fan for some fucking reason. I like the underdog story.
Sure.
And I've always thought he was severely underrated. So the next event I went to was when they were the tag team champions in 2019.
Oh, okay.
And I got to see them defend the title and beat the Revival live, and that's like one of my favorite wrestling moments ever. And it was the weekend of the Shield run. Like I got to see the Shield.
Reunion.
I got to see the Shield in their final weekend.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that was and then the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
This year, that's the only 3 live wrestling events I've been to. And then I've been to like Derek. I've been to his indie matches and stuff.
Where
So
does
that's
Derek
it.
wrestle at? mostly.
He wrestles in Illinois, and then I went to see him in Indiana. He's a manager,
Right.
and his
But he's a bump-taking manager.
his cousin is a string bean. He's literally
Yeah.
a fucking string bean.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only events I've been to besides the Royal Rumble, which I had a great. You were there.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it, I think, briefly in one of our sports segments, but I was talking about how the sign was on fire and all that shit. And like,
I thought it was
people-
a fight.
with Arlo.
I thought a fight broke out because I was getting a drink
Sure.
during shit was going on, and then
Yeah,
people were
popping
texting
off.
me, and I was like, "Is there a fight going on there?" Because
Yeah.
and I didn't know. And then
No, I almost saw it immediately because I was like, Arlo, look. And he's free. Dad, the sign's on fire.
What did we do, Dad? Did we get up?
It was like, I saw people just rushing off, and then they were like redoing the whole seating section and stuff. It was wild, man. And they put those signs up and take them down in a way you would never imagine. It's odd.
They probably snap them up real fast.
Yeah,
and take
it's
them
like
down real fast.
it's like I don't know. I've seen curtain rods like this before, but it kind of you can collapse them down kind of in a handle, and then you crank them like
wow.
hand crank them. Yeah, that's how they were taking the sign down and putting it up. Like, it seemed like a very inefficient way to do it for a company that
God.
does this for a living and travels around. You'd
Right.
think there'd be some type of
This was at the
automated
Dome, right?
device. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Dome now, but it's where the Rams used to play.
Yeah.
Edward Jones Dome
piece
back
of
in the day.
shit stadium.
It is garbage. Yeah, they didn't do shit to the inside.
Yeah.
Like, you walk back inside of it, it's like takes you back 20 years immediately, at
It
least.
takes you back to a lot of for me because I was too young to remember. It takes me back to a lot of losing, a lot of
Yeah.
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of shit. So,
Yeah.
but what'd you think of the Royal Rumble? I can't remember if we
thought
talked
it was
about
all
or
right.
not. I liked it. I know people were shitting on it. I
Yeah.
was just like, having Brock win was the right thing to do.
Yeah, no, they did what they needed to storyline wise. There was some disappointments, but people have gotten so conditioned to like big surprise entrance into the Royal Rumble, and there wasn't a lot of surprises. That was one of the big criticisms. And
In the men's
some
match,
of
the
it was-
women's there was quite a bit, wasn't there?
there was a lot
Yeah.
of surprises there. That got kind of critically pissed on the actual content of the match as well. And Ronda Rousey, while I like her, she looked like shit in the match.
She hasn't wrestled. It's like CM
Yeah,
Punk.
exactly.
Tangent here. It's like CM Punk. You haven't wrestled in years. You get back in the ring. It's probably not going to be. You're not going to throw 5-star clinics up.
No, but he's doing well above average matches still yet.
Oh,
you know?
Conan disagrees.
Well, I've been listening to Conan, but yeah, I'm not.
I love Conan.
I love him too. I think sometimes he likes to just have a hot take on something.
Yeah, I mean, CM Punk's and all.
He's one of my favorite people.
Is great, but I really think that MJF is my favorite wrestler in AEW.
Yeah, he's good. He's
Yeah.
very good. Like,
Which you would love MJF if you like old school, like just shit talking heel.
Oh yeah, that's my jam.
That's him. That's him.
yeah,
And just an
MJF.
old bruiser.
He's kind of like a. I think he's most like Piper, like in his
Yeah,
Roddy Piper with
yeah.
his like biggest shit talking that he does.
Damn. Yeah, he might be up my alley then.
Trained by Kurt Hawkins.
Okay.
I do love him. He is the best heel in the business, in my opinion.
Oh, without a doubt. Like he pisses me off, and I know that, and I like him. And I love how his parents, like on Twitter, like gimmickly, like hate him.
Right,
And they
yeah.
brought like signs and
Right.
say we hate. Our
Yes,
son.
we hate our son too.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, dude.
Dude, you got to hear the shit that he says to people. It is incredible.
Oh, it's off the wall, huh?
It is beyond like no PC. Yeah, it is bad, dude.
They better
Telling
be careful with that. though.
Crowds like on like TNT and TBS, like straight up, like your mother should have swallowed and
Oh,
you get an
Talking
abortion.
about Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah.
He said that to Brian Pillman. He said
Yeah.
your mother should have swallowed
Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude. On television.
Yes.
on television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he does not give a fuck, and his shit's usually really good. And the acting aspect of it is where he really excels. But he also had my favorite match last year with Darby Allin.
Oh, it was great.
That was my favorite match of the entire year.
That was great.
Like, he can wrestle too. It's just he
So he's the whole
doesn't-
package.
and he's
modern,
only is.
He's
modern
literally
package.
24. He's the same age as
He's
me.
24.
Yeah, he's
24.
Young.
Wow.
Got plenty of years left in the business.
And that's why I'm hoping he goes to WWE. And I loved how today he said,
Yep.
He said, are you going to re-sign with AEW? He says, I ain't re-signing with shit right now, or something like that. I was just like, you're the fucking best. You're the fucking best right now.
Absolutely.
So,
what kind of keeps you tuning in now?
MJF.
MJF specifically?
MJF.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like it's hopefulness, and I don't want to be so negative because wrestling fans are a lot like Star Wars fans.
Right.
They're a lot like, whatever, Kiss fans. I'm a big Kiss fans. It's very fanatical and intense people. Like, some people take it a little too seriously. I'm glad AEW exists. I watch more than I have, but I still, you're going to hate me, but I still like WWE better than AEW.
No, I can't. So the best wrestling show that's being put out consistently is SmackDown.
I agree.
But it's largely because of Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman and
Lesnar.
Lesnar
Lesnar right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Pat McAfee. I watch also for his commentary.
Pat McAfee is a fantastic. So the stuff he was doing with the NFL and XFL, he's doing that on SmackDown now.
Okay, great.
So and he's bringing that same type of energy, like talking that shit.
That's good for the company. Good for them, dude.
They haven't had because they got in such this cookie cutter approach with announcers and stuff. Like nobody has a personality,
which isn't their fault. It's because Vince is like,
that's
why I have a little more respect for Michael Cole.
Yeah,
because he does he does his job.
Yeah,
he does what he's told. He's not
and
he's been there.
I love when Vince was on the McAfee podcast because he was like Michael Cole,
terrible human,
like, terrible human, the worst. He's like talking all this shit.
Poor
Worked
Michael
for like
Cole.
25 years and been loyal.
Or
lead announcer.
You listen to Grilling JR.
Yeah.
JR talks about how he would never yell at the King for some reason.
Right.
And so when he was get mad at the King, he would yell at JR.
Right. Exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because he
Vince
didn't want
is
to talk
just a
shit to the
fucking
King.
weird guy.
Yeah.
He
love him.
knew that if he talked to, he knew he could talk to JR like that. He knew he couldn't talk to King like that.
Yeah. King would
that's
kick
what it
his
boiled
ass.
down to.
Right.
Yeah. King is a straight shooter, man. He
I wonder how many people have punched Vince in the past.
Bret Hart.
Nails? Was it Nails?
Nails,
too?
Bret Hart, for sure. And back in the day, they used to all get drunk in the bar.
Yeah.
After the shows.
See, I've heard these
especially
stories.
in the early years. Yeah, and he would take people's finishers. Like, he took the heart attack. He took Demolition's finisher.
Took the Doomsday device.
He took the Doomsday device.
Oh my God.
Yeah, from the Road Warriors, LOD. Like, he's taking some finishers in a bar on tile or hardwood. So you got to think of that, too.
Come on, pal. Give it to me.
Come on, pal. Yeah, absolutely.
Give me it.
It's good shit.
I love Vince McMahon, though. I know people shit on him, but I think he's a fucking genius, and I wish I had that work ethic. Like,
oh yeah, guy's obviously a fucking lunatic. There's no way that.
And not to change subjects again, or go off on another tangent, but I really hate that the whole XFL thing didn't work out.
oh, it's back,
No, yeah,
baby.
it's back.
Well,
though.
Dwayne Johnson, I know,
Yeah.
but I'm saying for
Terramana.
Vince and
with
company.
Vincent twice.
Right.
Yeah, the
Because
second time
they're good
was out of
showmen.
his control.
Right.
You know,
Well, the pandemic,
what the fuck
Pandemic.
he
can't
gonna do?
control that. But I'm
Right.
saying that would have been good. I
Sure.
think that would have been really good for them if
No.
it would have worked out. So.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, the more money Vince is making, the better. It's kind of
Right.
right hand, left hand in
Right.
that regard. Get the same owner. So, I know Josh, you used to watch wrestling back in the day.
Right.
So, who were the main people that you followed way back
Oh
when?
man. Obviously, I'm probably gonna bleed over on some of the stuff.
That doesn't matter.
I was probably like 4 or 5 when I really first got into wrestling.
Yeah.
When my stepdad met my mom and they first got together, he was really into it. But for me, mostly it was like, I guess the late '90s era. I would say like your Gold Dust and your
Yes, Goldust, criminally underrated, one of my favorites
Right.
of all time.
Which I'm Friday. He's on Rampage against
Lance Hoyt.
Dustin. What's
Dustin
his name?
Rhodes. And
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, Dustin Rhodes.
He's better. He's a better worker than he was 15 years ago.
Which is incredible.
That's how,
Right.
like, because he got a bad, like, alcohol, drug.
Well, I can even attest to towards the end of his career, you could tell like the quality of his matches were going way down
Sure.
and stuff. So I can
Absolutely.
imagine that he probably had some stuff going on.
Yeah, and he's like, even, I'm one of those weird people that watched WWE main event in like 2018,
Right.
and I would get excited to watch Goldust matches because he was like, they'd give him time, he was in
Right.
shape, and he was older, they weren't going to use him, but
Right.
now, like, he's one of my favorites in AEW, even though he's not
He
spotlight,
doesn't, Yeah, he doesn't wrestle as much as you'd like him to, but still one of my favorite matches in AEW is actually him.
and Cody.
Well, him and Cody have probably
My favorite.
My favorite match of the last 2 or 3 years. I guess it's been about 3 years now. But actually, him and Sammy. It was a New Year's Bash show that they did
I don't know if I
on
watched
Dynamite.
that. I'm gonna have to go back and
And
watch that.
it was in Jacksonville when they did it at Daly's place.
Okay.
And that's when he gives Sammy, or I think Sammy gives him a Canadian Destroyer on the apron.
Yeah, because Dustin does Canadian Destroyers now
Right,
at
right.
50.
Yeah, which is crazy.
50,
I'm
right.
gonna do Canadian Destroyers at 50.
Yeah.
God, dude. That's
He's
what I'm
incredible.
saying. Incredible athletes. I give it to him on that. But yeah, like when I was a kid, you know, like your classic wrestlers, your Macho Mans, your Hulk Hogan's, your Jake the Snakes, your
Right.
you know, just like classic wrestlers,
Sure.
mostly like late 80s, 90s there, 90s.
So you like the heels here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all heels. Because original Gold Dust, I promise you, like he was like
Oh, yeah.
not like
Androgynous.
real heat. Like
Right.
people were like hate mail, all that
Oh
shit.
yeah. Like
Well, they
he
were
was-
capitalizing on the homophobia of the late 90s.
Right.
So,
Right.
which
Absolutely.
wasn't a hard card to play on at that time.
And I loved it too because me and my buddies, we had I had a trampoline in my backyard, and we used to like set up the music player,
Right.
and have it to where like we walked out of the garage and we had lights
Absolutely.
set up,
Did
you
the
know what I
same thing,
mean,
man.
and played the intro music and would
Yeah.
do all the charismatic movements and stuff,
Right.
and then try to do the moves on each other on the trampoline, hurt each other, cry, that'll
Right,
bag. But, oh yeah, that was when I was like really into it. It was probably between 4 and 12 years old.
Well, a thing that kind of took off too in our teenage years, Josh, it was the backyard wrestling shit.
Oh yeah, and
Remember
that
the
shit
late night
got
infomercials?
crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I still watch some of that stuff on YouTube, and they're like breaking the fluorescent bulbs
Right.
over each other and
Terrible.
stuff. Oh, dude, like yeah.
Some of it's like with Nick Gage. literally-
Garbage wrestling.
Nick Gage literally. You watched Dark Side of the Ring where
Yeah.
he literally died. They had to
Right.
rush him to having a backyard fucking mud show. Sorry, I mean I'm for deathmatch extreme matches at times, but like there's a point where you're doing a backyard match and you're hitting
Right.
each other with light tubes. It's like,
Right,
dude, you're
How
just
much
trying.
you made
to,
$500 maybe that night?
right.
if you're in a backyard, I would think you would make. It felt like these are just.
Well, yeah, back to the backyard wrestling stuff. My mind's kind of stuck in that what is it, CZW
Yeah.
shit.
I mean,
Is
a
that
lot
what it
of
was called?
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of it's.
I was back in the Nick Cage.
Some
mode.
of it I can't do it.
And that's
It's-
kind
I
of
can't watch.
evolved nowadays. Now I see a lot of like bare knuckle fighting and stuff, like
Yeah.
underground bare knuckle fighting.
Actually,
and stuff.
Ken Shamrock started his own bare knuckle fighting promotion.
really?
Yeah, that's who's running the one that's
God,
real
Ken-
popular.
He
in
was
the United
one
States.
when I was younger that was
Yeah.
up and coming.
Yeah.
And then he went into MMA eventually,
Or was it before?
Yes.
He was.
no,
in-
he was in MMA first, then he went pro
Oh,
wrestling.
was it the other way around?
Yeah.
So he was an MMA fighter
was in-
first, and then he went into pro wrestling.
He was in a thing called Pancrase. Pancrase was a mixed work shoot.
Right.
Pancrase wrestling. That's
Yeah.
a Japanese thing.
Yeah, wasn't it like in a ring, but they actually like hit each
Yeah.
other like
Yes.
full on like
Yes.
mixed martial arts.
So that whenever you have those discussions with people, some people don't take that as a credible MMA
right.
thing.
Makes sense.
But
makes
then he
sense.
was in the first UFCs.
okay.
Like
the early
him and
UFCs.
Hoist Gracie like battle it out, like, and they have a storied rivalry.
Wow.
when you could eye gouge, kick
Yes,
him, kick
you
him
could do-
in the nuts and whatnot.
The only rules were no eye gouging and no kicking the
Okay,
nuts.
I
Those were
thought,
like
I thought you could do that.
those were the only two things you couldn't do. And I want to say like fish hooking. I know that became prominent at some point, but yeah, you can stick your finger in somebody's mouth and
Right.
sneak on
Fuck
their mouth.
that.
Yeah. No.
That was
thanks.
like I remember there was no more than like 5 rules or something.
Jesus.
Other than like I'm talking like what you can do to somebody else, not
Right.
time constraints.
and
or
I've seen some
things
pretty
of that
grisly
ilk.
knockouts from that stuff too back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Like some scary stuff.
One of the most fucked up ones is the kickboxer. It surprises everybody. He fucking like you think he's gonna get crushed by the sumo in the first UFC. Mm-hmm. You can watch it on YouTube. They have it up in its entirety. But this kickboxer gives him a fucking spinning heel kick
I think
and
I've
just
seen
knocks
this, yeah.
his ass out. It's the fastest
I
knockout.
think I may have seen
it.
it.
Was the fastest knockout in UFC history. I think it's since been beat, but.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
knee
it
to the
was-
face knockout is
It was
faster, but yeah.
fucked up. And then he gets on top of the motherfucker and starts hammer fisting him and shit. And he's already down, like out.
out of
He's
it.
clearly out of it.
Yeah.
And
Like
this is like
lockjaw,
when the
knocked out.
refs were not nearly as aggressive. Like if they saw that big guy take
yeah.
that fall today, that ref would have jumped on top,
top
of him
of him,
immediately and stopped the match. So
Right.
they're worth watching. They
Yeah.
have like
Oh, yeah, they're
almost like I
wild.
think it's like almost the first 12 or so on YouTube. You can watch them in their
I
entirety.
need to go back and freshen up on that too.
I actually, a couple summers ago, was like, hey, man, I remember when my dad would buy these UFC pay-per-views, and so I was like, I got to see if I can find them somewhere. And
Joe Rogan with hair.
So I rewatched them.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan
that,
with
that's
their
awkward as well.
Fear Factor.
Isn't Joe Rogan was on the early ones too?
Yes, absolutely.
Are
But
you
is
scared
that
to eat these
before he
cow
was-
testicles, boys?
Is that before he was racist and anti-vax, or is that after he was racist?
Well,
and
it was
anti-vax?
just
I don't know.
it was acceptable.
It was
then.
a break in his anti-vax and racist.
It was acceptable then in American society. It was just an everyday part of life, so nobody noticed it.
I'm just kind of giving some shit. I think his stuff's a little bit overblown. His
I
controversy.
absolutely do. But
I don't give a shit about some of his podcasts though.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I only ever listened to
Comedians.
his episodes if he had somebody on I liked.
Right.
Comedian, pro wrestlers.
you get a
movie
chance
stars,
to do Elon
authors.
Musk.
If he does conspiracy shit or
It
doctors
is funny
or
that Elon Musk.
Elon Musk smokes weed with him on that one,
Yes.
and it's hilarious.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's
my
incredible.
favorite one because he's crazy is David Lee Roth.
Oh, the David Lee Roth is pretty good.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones is my favorite guest
It's-
on there.
yeah.
And then
I absolutely hate Alex Jones.
Me too.
But it is the most entertaining shit.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of ashamed to say this. I'm gonna say this, but he was a part of that 9/11 truth movement.
Oh yeah, he definitely
After,
was.
not
There's
to go
nothing
off on
be
another
ashamed.
tangent, I keep doing
Right.
that to you guys, but he was a part of that, and I used to support that back in the day. Like when I was younger, like I was all
Sure.
about that, the 9/11 conspiracy and stuff.
Right.
And it's just like, I can't believe that guy had his hands in that whenever I was involved in that. Like,
Yeah.
that guy's such a piece of shit. But anyway,
For sure.
we can move on from that conversation.
Yeah.
That's
So-
neither here or there.
Anything else wrestling wise in the wrestling business we want to comment on, Jake?
Matt Cardona.
Matt
One
Cardona.
of the top. I mean, we've said a lot of top, but a guy who keeps totally reinventing his career shows you that you don't need WWE or AEW to succeed.
Sure. Yeah, Matt Cardona is actually doing something really special right now. He's, essentially wrestling every independent, winning championships. I think he's
Won like
about-
6
I was gonna-
titles.
Yeah, I was going to say he mentioned something about I'll take my 7th.
Yeah.
So here recently. So
He's NWA champion.
Yeah, he's NWA champion. Is he still GCW champion?
No, he lost to Moxley.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that Moxley is the GCW champion because
Yeah.
he really hasn't done anything with it.
Yeah, he's only appeared a couple times. He's the Impact Digital Media champion.
Right.
And he's the
Right.
some other promotions, but I mean, him and Brian Myers, what they have done with like the pot? They literally make a fucking killing talking about action figures.
Right. Right.
That's
Well,
like
they've done very
another-
well for themselves
Yeah.
with that business for sure. I think one thing we, would need to mention is the fact that Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
So whatever the hell that means and what that's going to turn into.
which
there's
the
a lot of
Briscoes and
uncertainty
FTR,
right
I
now.
think, are going to be at that.
They're going to
event.
have a Ring of Honor
next
super
Friday.
card, at the WrestleMania. And so finally we're going to get the Briscoes and FTR. And FTR is the best tag team in the business.
and there's no dispute.
Without question.
And Dax Harwood had one of my favorite matches
Last night.
That's actually probably my favorite CM Punk match in AEW.
Yeah, it's good. It's solid. It's really good.
I mean,
Yeah.
they did the
The slingshot powerbomb was dope. Even
Oh, the
though
sharpshooter
but it made it
Dax.
actually look. The sharpshooter was fantastic. Every spot, the psychology, just a crossbody you were even way into the match.
Oh, and it was
it's
a
hard
near
to
fall, and
Yeah.
it was great. And
So-
I liked the MJF match, but dude, when you got FTR on TV, which I don't understand why they should always be the champions.
Absolutely.
I know that's
They need a long run.
Even
for
though I
sure.
like the Jurassic Express, but
I absolutely hate the Jurassic Express.
really,
I like Jungle Boy. I hate Luchasaurus. Although I will say his last few matches have been better.
or a Dino douche is what Cornette calls
Dino
him.
douche.
And
Yeah.
then, I feel like he's a nice guy. What's the Marco Stunt?
Yeah.
He calls
He's not in it anymore though.
he calls him Marco Stunted Growth and
Yeah.
Dwarf Dong Sucker.
Yeah, dwarf Dom Sucker.
Jesus Christ.
Kid's like 5 foot tall.
I mean,
He's tiny.
and also I like Marco Stunt because I'm pretty sure his dad runs Cape Championship Wrestling
I don't know if his dad runs
or
it, but
some-
he's been in. He's wrestled in Cape
because he
Championship.
goes
and
to
he's
Cape quite a bit.
There was this bogus article that came out that said he was from Cape and he's not. I went back and backtracked that kind of went around
Yeah.
a couple years ago, but they featured him in the papers.
But he has a family member or something that's involved
Yeah.
with the company, and they had Kevin Nash. I could have met Kevin Nash, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna stay home.
Well, this is before Matt Hardy went back to WWE, but he was down there. The Hardys were and stuff.
And then Scott Hall a few months ago was supposed to be there, and he bailed. Which R.I.P. Scott Hall,
Yeah, no doubt.
one of the
Yeah.
greatest ever, never to win the world title. Him and Arn Anderson are the greatest to never win the world title.
Yeah, I agree.
And they replaced him with Eric Young. So I bet people were like, no, I love Eric Young, but like they
Sure.
were hoping for Scott Hall,
Yeah,
and they got
Scott Hall's top
Eric
10 all
Young.
time for me.
one of the greatest.
I think we're going to move on to the WrestleMania 38 preview if you want to stick around after the break, Jake, and we can talk about what's happening at WrestleMania 38.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All right, awesome. Right, we are back with you. Thanks for sticking around. So we're going to talk about WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, Texas. 2-night event, April 2nd and 3rd. And we're just going to kind of get into what the match card is announced, at least for right now. We know the world of the WWE, and they like to change things at the last minute, and people get injured. And with COVID in the world, of course, now, that impacts things. I would suppose if somebody has an infection, they can't do their deal here. So what they have laid out, at least for right now, night 1 and 2, I think this has even changed since we just printed this out in the last 48 hours. We're just going to kind of go through from night 1 to night 2, how they have it listed.
First match on night 1, right?
Yeah.
All right, single match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. It's going to be Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair.
Yeah. All right.
I couldn't read it, sorry.
So, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. What do you think, Jake?
Well, SummerSlam didn't. Becky Lynch came back.
Right.
They basically just said, fuck you, Bianca Belair.
Yeah, that was horseshit.
And they're going to job her out there.
Right.
And, I haven't really been paying attention too much to them since then. But, I mean, you gotta let her get her revenge at Mania, right?
You would think.
I mean,
Becky's had the title ever since that happened as well and defended it many times. So
yeah.
You would think that they're trying to get her another WrestleMania moment, I guess.
I can't believe what I'm reading on this next one, but go ahead and continue.
Legend.
So go ahead and hit us with the next one, Josh.
All right, so the tag team match on night 1, matchup number 2 will be Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul.
Yeah, the Logan Paul.
Which I don't hate it. It brings eyes to WWE.
It does.
Yeah, I don't.
It
I really
absolutely
don't have a
does.
strong opinion about it, quite frankly. For what purpose that they're trying to achieve here, and that's bringing outside eyes into the product. It'll definitely succeed in
this
that
whole
regard.
stuff with the Paul brothers. I just hope that people realize it's show business.
Best heels in the business.
Right.
But yeah, that's the thing. here.
That's the point,
Right.
For this, right?
And I know that Bruce Pritchard in particular is a big fan of the Paul brothers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any company that
would turn it down, right?
Turn it down.
Right. I mean, look at the title fights, or not title fights, but the boxing matches. How much revenue that generated?
They get higher buy rates than some of the actual
UFCs.
Yeah.
In some instances, yeah.
Yeah.
So I like it. And Rey Mysterio and The Miz. Did you watch Raw at all?
I did not.
He took his mask off. I mean,
I did see the highlight of that.
Oh wait, Mysterio did?
Miz took
yanked Mysterio's mask off.
On
I just
TV.
seen that was a big one for me too when I was a kid. Was Rey Mysterio?
Yeah, Rey
so-
Mysterio's phenomenal,
Yeah.
and he still does it well. He's adjusted his game a little bit, but
Right.
he's
Well,
doing.
when you're that age,
It's his son that wrestles with him now, Dominic.
Okay.
And,
Just as fast,
he's-
as wild and crazy as
No,
his dad.
he's taller actually. He's probably like 6'1".
Oh wow.
Which is crazy because his dad's like
dad's
5'4".
Right.
He's
His
only
dad's
like
a little guy.
Isn't he only like 20? If that.
I don't know,
know
he's my
pretty
age.
young.
I think
I
he's
thought he
20
was younger than that.
I'm not sure, but I know he's around my age.
I know he's not any older than you are.
Yeah.
And he went to Lance Storm's school, was trained by Lance Storm,
Damn.
and literally started on the main roster almost immediately. He didn't even though he signed a developmental deal, they put him on TV almost immediately because they were doing kind of a family angle thing.
Must be good.
So
He's not
he does
bad.
all right. He's better than a lot of the women, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And The Miz, anytime you get to see The Miz on pay-per-view, I'm happy because I think he's been consistently one of the best in WWE.
I think he's very underrated. Like his heel work when his last feud that he had with Cena, which was a couple Manias ago. Now, whenever they did the intergender tag match with Nikki Bella and Cena and all them, and so that as well as his Dolph Ziggler feud over the IC title about 3 or 4 years ago. That was one of my more favorite feuds that he had in recent years, I should say. But the Edge stuff, they had a serviceable match.
It
at
was
Royal
very
Rumble.
lukewarm.
Yeah. But it was nothing too I wasn't really into it.
No, I
Keep it
wasn't
short.
either. I just saw, I got to see Edge live. I got to see,
Right. Beth Phoenix.
But it wasn't
that was a unexpected treat.
It wasn't
in
a
some
classic.
respects.
It was just I think it was meant to be like a moment, not a,
Absolutely.
a classic match.
But that's another thing too. People get too invested in some of the stuff. Like this match is supposed to be
Right.
a moment.
Right.
This is a beyond their brand promotion at this point.
Right.
This match in particular. So
I mean, it definitely makes sense. It makes more sense to me for it to be here than
Right.
where it has been recently.
So who do we think is going to prevail in this? Jake, you think it's probably going to be Mysterio?
I mean, it's WrestleMania. Don't you got to,
Not a babyface wins.
Yeah, don't you got to, give the people what they want? And
Right.
they're not going to extend a feud with Logan Paul, you don't think? And The
Right.
Miz, like,
Sure.
what are they going to do? Drag this out to SummerSlam or something?
I don't know. They do
So-
wacky shit sometimes, but I definitely think it's going in that direction. They're going to have to get their comeuppance, with taking the mask too. That's one thing you don't do to luchadors unless there's money behind it.
Unless you're Eric Bischoff.
Right. Absolutely. To which I love to this day he still tries to defend doing it.
Which I did. That's the first Rey Mysterio I knew. Seriously.
Yeah.
Was maskless Rey Mysterio.
Right. The Filthy Animals Rey Mysterio.
That's exactly
Yeah.
like Road Wild 99.
Yeah. So, but masked Rey Mysterio is some of the best matches I've ever seen, especially in that cruiserweight division back in WCW.
Oh,
It's
dude,
the
he's
best.
just
Eddie
high
Guerrero.
flying, high speed, adrenaline, just in your face stuff.
Him
It
and
was really
Hoovy
good.
had some of the best matches as I've ever
Psychosis.
seen. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio win.
Yeah,
Go
I
with
think
that.
so. I'm with you on that one.
Babyface.
Matchup number 3, you got the singles match. It's going to be Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss.
This has been an ultra JoJo feud for me. It is very immature and
Go to the bathroom match.
absolutely, yeah. This is a bathroom break match for me.
And it's not even. One of my favorite things of last year was when Corbin lost his house.
Yes.
He was dressing like a
Yes,
bum.
it was great.
And Drew McIntyre. I love Drew McIntyre, but who the fuck is Madcap Moss? Sorry, no disrespect to you,
Yeah.
but
So
I don't
that's
know who you
Riddick
are.
Moss, right?
I don't know who that is.
But he never did anything. That's where I was getting to. In NXT, they tried to throw him in a tag team at the last minute to get something out of him. They didn't. Then he just randomly showed up on the main roster and was kind of in the feud for the 24/7 title. Had it at some point.
Okay, he was that
But then
guy.
they totally rebranded him to this Madcap Moss character. And so now he's the lackey of Baron Corbin. Guy's jacked to the gills, looks great. Got dropped on his fucking head in Saudi Arabia, wasn't it? Whenever he got dropped on his head by Drew McIntyre, he gave him a suplex and landed directly on top of his head.
Jesus.
I don't know if I remember that.
Terrifying.
I might have to go look that up.
Speaking of landing on heads, old Big E got dropped on top of his head.
Yeah.
Last week.
And almost had a
really?
stroke because of it.
Yeah.
I think I've
Fractured
seen that
his
in the
vertebra.
news. Yeah.
He may not even wrestle again.
Jesus.
There's
man.
seriously a
That's
threat
what
of
I'm
that.
saying, dude. This stuff,
Yeah.
And the one time we got to be WWE champion, it was terrible.
Right.
And it's not
Right.
it's not his part. They
No.
just didn't do anything with him.
Right.
No, very lackluster booking with
Yeah.
that.
So that's sad if he never gets to wrestle again.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that Drew McIntyre is probably winning this match, although they're teasing this whole thing they're trying to give Corbin an undefeated streak at WrestleMania now. So I think they said something about him being 3-0 or 4-0 at WrestleMania.
He's won the Battle Royal. He beat
Right.
Kurt Angle. And
Right.
I can't remember his other wins.
So I wouldn't be shocked if he won. I could see them doing that, but largely him and Madcap have been getting the better of Drew McIntyre, although they keep doing this, having singles matches between him and Madcap, and he keeps winning, he being Drew McIntyre. So I don't know. I could see it going either way, but
Yeah,
I think Drew McIntyre.
it's a bathroom break match for me.
You can be in the bathroom for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. We never know.
So we've got, what's next on the list, Josh?
All right, you're gonna have to help me out with this. All right, so the Usos
Yeah.
versus Shinsuke Nakamura and
Yeah.
Rick Boogs.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yep. So
All right.
it's Shinsuke Nakamura, but not far off at all, and Rick Boogs. So the Usos, I think, are actually going to win this. This
yeah.
is going to be a heel win.
They're
here.
one of the best tag teams of the last decade. Them and FTR.
Absolutely.
Oh, and this is the tag team championship. That's the
For
stipulation on
SmackDown.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Shinsuke is the Intercontinental Champion.
He lost it.
Okay, who is the Intercontinental
Ricochet.
Champion? Okay, well, I read a thing yesterday that if it's not defended at WrestleMania, the Intercontinental title has not been defended on a pay-per-view for a whole year. So WrestleMania.
Holy shit! I didn't realize that.
It wasn't. I go back and look. None of the other pay-per-views the Intercontinental title was on. That is fucking sad.
That is very sad.
Wow.
I mean, that's a title that would make future champions back in the day, especially the 90s specifically.
Yeah, now it's just...
People like...
It's like the European title now,
right.
basically.
Yeah, it's really getting... It's faded into obscurity in some respects in that way. You know, I go back and think about the 90s, the people that had the Intercontinental title, I just thought, oh my God, these guys are so huge and that's important, you know. Stone Cold had it. The Rock had it.
Owen Hart
had it.
Kurt Hennig.
Bret Hart had it. Kurt Hennig. You know, all these great talents in the ring that went on to do even bigger and better things. Triple H had it at one point. So
I mean, yeah, all the big, like, even, well, no, Cena won the U.S. title, but that,
right,
you know.
but that's equivalent. Really.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's crazy to even think that that's a possibility that it for an entire year will not be on any pay-per-view.
That is wild.
Unless if they, you know, with like, they do matches the day before, like Hawkins and Ryder with
Right.
the Revival wasn't announced till the day before WrestleMania.
Right.
So, I mean, they could...
Well, they'll have pre-show
Matches,
matches and shit like
yeah.
that too. You know, like little ancillary storyline shit going on.
All right, so for the last one on Night 5, matchup number 5, you got the singles match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, and that's going to feature Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey.
So, this Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair feud's had its up and downs already for me. They kind of recuperated some of that in last week's SmackDown. I believe they had the car altercation where they were getting thrown in cars and shit. Maybe I'm misremembering it. Maybe it's the week before. That was a strong point for me. You know, before that, anytime that they put Ronda Rousey in a situation where she has to stand in the ring and talk with a mic for too long, it's a disservice to her. Also, Ronda Rousey is a badass. She is the badass that used to walk out with the, you know, steely bitch face at the MMA events and
right.
shit like that. You know, she
Yeah.
didn't have to fuck. She never smiled,
Right.
or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, she
She's
was
coming
out
out
for
of the
blood.
ring like glad handing now, smiling from ear to ear. That's not the Ronda Rousey that
Right.
No.
we all know is the real Ronda Rousey.
Even
so it
Brock
seems a little
now
fake.
doesn't really smile.
Yeah, Brock doesn't either, but he's a kick-ass babyface, and that's exactly what Ronda Rousey needs to be.
Yeah.
That's what she is.
Right.
And she honestly was doing better for herself as she kind of went heel the last time that she was in. Like, people like legitimately hated her because she was
Oh, yeah.
bringing
Bubbly.
shame to the wrestling business and all that, you know, M-word talk online, the Mark talk, if you will.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that they are going in the direction of Ronda Rousey winning here.
Which is
over
not a bad
Charlotte Flair.
thing.
Which it certainly isn't. You're going to get your Sports Center moment. Vince is constantly looking for a Sports Center moment, something that's going to be promoted on Sports Center.
Absolutely.
Ronda
And-
Rousey with a belt on her, former UFC champ. She's never been the SmackDown champion. She was Raw champion previously. So this is going to be another notch in the belt for her.
and to give Charlotte another opportunity for her to, like, already pass Rick. She's getting close.
Oh, absolutely.
She's like,
yeah.
what, 14 or 13
Well,
time champion?
they did this weird thing where they counted her NXT runs and then they took them away from her or
Okay.
something.
Which
So I think it's sketchy again, but yeah,
pisses
come
me
on.
off.
Well, come on. How many times did Ric Flair actually win the championship?
well,
I think they said it was
pissed me
something
off
in
that
the
she won the
20s.
NXT title. But that's a different story.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal for me, but what I think that isn't on our match cards, I know is going to happen, is the Stone Cold Kevin Owens altercation, which is supposed to cap off night 1, rumor has it.
Can't wait.
How do you feel about that and what's going on
I mean,
with
anytime you get to hear the glass shatter, and
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
this, you know,
That still gives me goosebumps to this
He's
day
in his
when I hear it.
50s, dude, and
Right.
he still looks
the
amazing.
Texas rattlesnake
Yeah.
walking down the ring, you're fucking excited.
Oh, hell yeah.
You hear the glass shatter,
You
do
know
the
it.
walk,
Oh, hell yeah.
It's my absolute favorite wrestler of all time.
and
I wanted him to be my dad whenever I was a little kid. I wanted him so bad to
What?
come to my school and tell the bullies to shove it up their ass.
Hell
you
yeah.
know, and
stop mud holes and walk it dry.
walk them dry. Open up a can of whoop ass on you motherfuckers.
I'll drink a beer.
I'll drink 2 beers.
I had 2
3
beers.
Tequila. Another beer.
Whiskey.
So yeah, that's what I'm excited for. It's not all about matches. It's moments. Like, you know, I want him to come out there and just whip his ass.
Yeah.
And Kevin Owens is perfect because he uses finisher.
Absolutely.
He's a great heel who can talk.
Absolutely.
He can go toe to toe with him.
He can take good bumps. Yeah.
And hopefully we get to see a lot of stunners. And hopefully Cody and Seth Rollins is also on night one because that hasn't been announced.
Yeah, that hasn't been announced either, but it is being remembered that Cody's coming back, and Seth keeps teasing that he doesn't have an opponent, throwing fits on Raw and what have you.
Which the end of Raw was amazing. Because he was saying this is bullshit, and he destroyed the Raw set. I was like, maybe WWE is trying to, you know, get a little
edgier with their stuff.
Yeah, because you know they kind of have to, and I thought the end of Raw was pretty good. But it's AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. You're never going to have a bad match with those guys.
No, absolutely not. So. Two of the absolute best in the business doing it. So I think with the weird thing with the Stone Cold and Kevin Owens thing, it's supposed to be a talking segment. It's supposed to be the KO show. So that aspect of it is, but Stone Cold's in his 50s. Can he really have a match? You know, that sort of thing. So
if he comes out in ring attire.
I hope to God he does.
Like the blue jean shorts.
Yeah, the jorts with his double knee braces.
Yep, and the t-shirt. And...
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Or no, like the black trunks. Why did he just
That'd be badass if it was the black trunks and his vest.
His vest.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like literal ring attire.
Or comes out on a Kawasaki, the mule or whatever.
You know he's coming out on something. He's gotta be.
On his truck. Mule.
He'll come out on Big E's broken 4-wheeler ATV. So if they have a match, without question, Stone Cold's one. Is my long point here. I mean, come on.
That'd be really stupid not to.
Yeah.
Right?
And send. I mean, in Dallas, Texas, of all places, not too far from his home.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that to him.
Yeah, and Kevin Owens has been shit talking Texas as a state and all the towns and the people in it and yada yada. This last month or so. So yeah, that's no better way could they end night one.
Right.
Now exclusively on YouTube, the Vulgar Display of Podcast is a show about metal by metalheads. The Vulgar Display of Podcast does not discriminate. We share a love for any and all kinds of metal. Please do us a favor and like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share our videos. We appreciate your help and support. For more information and content, check out thewellnessinvestors.com and the Vulgar Display of Podcast.
All right, so for matchup number 1 on night 2, it's the Fatal four-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, and this one is loaded. It's got Queen Zelina and help me out with this one.
Carmella.
Yeah, you guys know these wrestlers better than me, so versus Sasha Banks and Naomi.
Yep.
Versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna
Baszler.
Shayna. Oh my God,
yeah,
guys.
She was a former MMA.
Okay. I don't know her either.
She was kind of in the same run of like Ronda Rousey, Jessamine Duke.
I got you.
All them gals were friends.
I got you.
They were actually the 4 horsewomen of the UFC. So that's kind of, in part, kind of what's littered in here is some. For example, like Ronda versus Charlotte. Charlotte was a part of the WWE's 4 horsewomen.
I got you.
And they teased for the longest time that they were going to do 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen. They never did it. They had all of these people signed, these UFC ladies signed in the company at one time, but they've lost some of them since or cut them. So, but yeah, Shayna Baszler's got a legit shoot background, and she actually does some instructional videos of like jiu-jitsu and judo stuff on her Instagram. It's actually kind of cool to follow her. But yeah, this match.
I love it just for one reason.
Yeah, me too. That's Rhea Ripley, baby.
Rhea Ripley going, can I text you Hulk Hogan style? Love you. You're my favorite. Riptide. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I don't know what else to say. But Rhea Ripley, that's the only reason I love it. She's my favorite arguably my favorite wrestler in general.
In the business right now?
In the business. Yeah. So, love you.
So we'll follow up with this at the end of the show, but Jake's available for
God.
this, so you know, Rhea.
Yeah, Rhea, I'm available. I'll take the Riptide, whatever you want.
However it needs to go down, he's game.
Yep,
Let's just
absolutely.
post the digits on the
Roll Tide.
Yeah, we'll put your number up there. We'll get a WhatsApp
on the
out.
social media. See if we can get her to reach
Rhea.
out.
But no,
Touch
she's
with you.
legitimately a great. She's
good.
phenomenal. Arguably, I think she's
Best
better
seller.
than. I mean, arguably like her drop kick. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's better than
She's good.
anybody almost to me. Like
She sells incredibly well. That's why she works best as a babyface, in my opinion. Although she does do good heel work too.
I like her either way. Don't matter.
I like her any which way.
Anyway.
He says I like her every single which way with butter on her biscuit.
So yeah, I'm hoping for a Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley win, but if not, I hope they start pushing her.
You
again.
know Carmella and Queen Zelina are losing it. I'm confident that's the route they're going, but I could see them going with Sasha and Naomi as the only.
Oh yeah, because Rhea just got done being women's tag team champion.
Yeah.
Hopefully they, say fuck off Liv Morgan. No offense, but
She has improved the most. Of
well, no,
all the
I just
women,
want Rhea
think.
Ripley to be in the main event spot.
Yeah, she needs to be singles. I could almost see her turning heel to go against a Bianca, and then they kind of reset up their feud. They had one of the best women's feuds in NXT.
Oh hell yeah!
It was excellent. The two very athletic chicks just beating the shit out of each other, and both of them easy on the eyes. Quite frankly.
If you guys thought the Logan Paul thing on night one was wild,
Yeah,
you're really gonna enjoy this one.
Gonna have to split up their celebrities, I guess. That's where
All
you're
right,
going.
so matchup number 2 is gonna be an anything goes match between Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn.
So this is going to be stunt filled. There's no question about that.
Absolutely.
Johnny Knoxville's jumping off of something on the Sami Zayn.
Absolutely.
I guarantee it.
And then Steve-O's going to be there. Wee Man, everybody. I bet all of Jackass is going to be there.
And you know what? To speak about that, I've heard nothing but great things about that film. So good for
The new
those guys.
Jackass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be like their highest rated one that they've done.
And you gotta think about their journey to sobriety, everything they've been through, and how they used to film those kinds of crazy ass shit, being able to have the balls being on probably what they were on, you know what I mean, and then now doing it sober.
Absolutely. Whenever the Royal Rumble was in St. Louis, Brock Lesnar went to a restaurant and the Jackass guys were there.
Oh, good.
And I think it was when it was, or it was either that or before they went to Saudi.
Did he hurt somebody?
He took Wee Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took Wee Man and he power slammed him through a table in the restaurant.
Oh, dude.
Like it wasn't staged, did it on the spot. Like it started with him sending a bottle of wine to their table, and then they came over and talked to him, and he had his own private room, Brock Lesnar did.
Yeah.
And so then he was they were all talking shit, and then Wee Man's like, "I'll fuck you up" or something like that, and he just picked him, no notice, just picked his ass up and threw him through a table in the restaurant. And Brock said he threw cash out to cover the expenses at their restaurant.
And he just left.
And just left.
That's
just
gold.
Ghosted
dude.
out, went back to his hotel room.
That's gold.
So that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm loving Brock, babyface Brock.
Cowboy Brock, baby.
Dude.
He's out for blood.
It's my favorite. I think even better than the old days.
It says fuck you to the people who says that he's just suplex, just comes out there and does the same shit. F5.
Everybody that shits on him.
He's one of the greatest of all time.
I agree. To Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. So this is going to be stunt filled without question.
It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah. Johnny shouldn't win, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he does.
Somehow he does, right?
Oh, I think Johnny Knoxville is going to win.
You think so?
Oh, they're bringing him in.
I will
you bring
say
in
this,
a celebrity, right?
He has been getting the better of Sami Zayn up to this point, putting his number online or whatever is one of the things he did to him recently. And then actually Sami had the Intercontinental title. He won it back from Shinsuke. And then Ricochet won it from Sami because Johnny Knoxville came out and distracted in the match.
And then when there's something about the red carpet premiere with Johnny Knoxville in the Jackass film.
Yeah, Sami Zayn was there hassling him and shit.
Talking shit and got kicked out of the premiere and all that. Yeah, okay.
And TMZ covered it, but obviously it was all,
it was probably
coordinated.
Staged,
right. WWE gets weird where they don't want their people to lose to celebrities though sometimes. But last year, Bad Bunny wrestled, and he won.
Who actually did great.
And he did excellent. And I was shocked and surprised.
I need to watch
Don't
that.
even
And
know
he's in the Royal
a song
Rumble
by
as well.
him or anything. I just know him in WWE.
I honestly never heard any of his music till he was in WWE, and I was like, I wonder if he's doing his own walkout music, and he was.
Right.
I went back, found that song, then I actually like some of his stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
it's in
not bad.
Spanish.
One of the
Funny, he's
biggest
not bad.
streamed artists in the world.
He is, yeah.
It's like,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he's just no English, all strictly in
Right.
Spanish. Like, he's got a huge footprint
Yeah.
globally.
He's got a pretty big following. I've noticed on Twitter.
So, who do you think? Johnny Knoxville's winning?
Johnny
this?
Knoxville.
Yeah.
I don't think Sammy. I don't know. It's just they're bringing him in. Johnny Knoxville, Jackass. All the
Yeah.
guys are going to come out. I think it's going to be just a let up match, a fun match.
I honestly think Sami Zayn's one of the best talents in all of wrestling, especially when he's on his heel shit.
Oh yeah, I hate him when I hate him.
He is legitimately like one of the better talkers in all of wrestling. Like, I feel like he's at least in top 5, if not top 3, like heels talking in the business today, without question. MJF, of course, is number 1 on that list, but
Number 1.
and number 2 is a distant number 2, but nonetheless,
Oh, God, it's getting even more wild. Pat McAfee and Austin Theory for the singles match.
I'm very confident that Pat McAfee is winning this match.
Can't wait.
And Pat McAfee's already had a match though in
Adam Cole,
NXT
baby.
with Adam Cole and did extremely well.
Oh, wow.
It was a fantastic War Games match.
I missed so much.
fucking
Jim
killed
Cornette
it.
liked it.
Yeah.
That tells you how.
And Jim Cornette hates
A lot of
hardcore matches
Right.
or no disqualifications
Or
that type of
celebrities
shit.
in
Yeah.
matches.
Pat McAfee fucking killed it, dude.
That's awesome.
He
Good
is
for him, man.
Yeah, fantastic. So I think, and Austin Theory is one of the best young talents that they have. I think he's one of the, if you were to talk blue chippers in wrestling, top 3 without question. He's well on his way to be a big star as it is anyways, but he's really going to get the rocket strap on him, I think, in the next year or two. He's working with Vince right now,
Yeah,
which
and he
Vince
was
doesn't even like to be on TV, so that tells you something.
down to the final 2 with him and Brock in the Elimination Chamber.
Right, which he took a hellacious bump.
F5.
F5, yeah, off the top of that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe they fucking did that. Whenever he had him up, I was like, no, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He's going to get out. Sure enough, he fucking took it off the top of Elimination Chamber pod.
Oh,
Took it
God.
F5.
Hell yeah.
Brock placed him perfectly. He landed perfectly, though.
Good.
He couldn't have went any better.
Right.
But
So
that speaks to how good he is as well.
right.
Not only in wrestling do you need to be able to do the moves, you need to be able to take the moves. So somebody that can bump really well, like an Austin Theory, for example, or we talked about Rhea Ripley earlier, they're always usually pretty good working the baby face side of things. Not to say that that's not good for the heels, but you always want to get invested in the people that are getting the shit kicked out of them.
Right.
So that's why, in a good psychology of a match, even for passerbys to see stuff, you want to see that babyface getting the piss kicked out of them the whole time, so that the heel can get their comeuppance at the end and they can rise to power and come back and win and prevail.
Storytelling.
But
Right.
this is where the exception comes in, is that Pat McAfee can do those things even though he's not really a wrestler, but he was trained by very credible people.
Right. So he
in
knows
the
what
business.
he's doing. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to. I mean, even the little brawl that he did a couple SmackDowns ago, where he jumped on top of Austin Theory and started throwing haymakers and shit.
it was
on him.
great.
Did you see that? Yeah,
It's great.
Great. Like, he threw a better punch than 75% of the fucking people in the business, which
Yeah.
is sad to say.
Yeah,
You know?
they need to find a way to incorporate him more into the mix, but FanDuel
He almost needs to be like a. Not that this is necessary either, but like he has the ability to be like a Bobby Heenan hybrid. Can
Oh,
wrestle,
yeah.
can manage, can he can
Commentate.
do it all, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't even think they've tapped in all the potential with Pat McAfee yet.
Whatever they need to do, whatever they can to keep him.
All right. Matchup number 4 for night 2 is going to be a triple threat tag team match for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. That's going to feature RK Bro, which is Randy Orton and Riddle, versus the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, versus the Alpha Academy, which is Chad Gable and Otis. Oh my God, dude.
I could kind of see this going a couple different ways. RK Bro should win, but they've been teasing this heel run with the Street Profits, I think, recently. So I could see the Street Profits going full-blown heel and winning this also.
I also could see Randy Orton turning heel on Riddle. Eventually, it's going to happen.
Oh, it's definitely going to happen, but I think this is where they lay the groundwork for that, though. I think they lose this match. One gets frustrated with the other, regardless of who it is.
It's going to be Randy. Gotta be.
They could even work it this way. Matt Riddle gets frustrated with Randy, shoves him or does something accidentally throughout the match, then Randy retaliates, and then Randy goes full-blown heel on Riddle. I'm confident RK Bro's going to win, but if they don't, they're definitely setting the seeds for them to split up.
Yeah, I don't think Alpha Academy's going to win, even though Chad Gable, the shush stuff is fucking great. Love it. I love how he's able to show a personality, you know.
I love Chad Gable. I think he's one of the best wrestlers, like from a technical standpoint, but they just always strap him with the silliest shit in that company.
I kind of like it right now.
I think that
the Shorty
people
G
don't...
sucked, but
Oh my God, it was horrific. That was one of the worst things ever. They put this motherfucker, Josh, in like a Space Jam oversized basketball outfit. Like 90s Space Jam, not present day Space Jam. Like all trim and athletic. Like oversized gym shorts and shit. And he was referring to himself as Shorty G. Mind you, this is an Olympic level wrestler.
Right.
Like that'd be like Kurt Angle doing it.
Right.
Now, Kurt Angle sounds hilarious doing it, quite frankly, because we know his comedic chops from what he used to do back in the day with the tiny hats and guitar playing and all that shit. Kurt Angle was fucking hilarious.
What's the one with Shawn Michaels? He's, I'll make your ankle hurt.
Yeah, ankle hurt. I'm just a sexy Kurt. Sexy Kurt. Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite matches.
For this
yeah,
episode.
We might have to figure that one out. WWE doesn't try and sue me for it.
Yeah, we better not.
So back to the tag team match. I think RK Bro is winning, but if they don't, it'll be the Street Profits, and it'll be because disenchantment in the camp or something of that ilk.
Trying to set that up for the RK Bro.
Right,
Yeah.
split.
You know, I'm going to go with the Street Profits. I think something's going to happen with Randy Orton and Riddle. I don't think Alpha Academy's going to win, so I think I'm with you. I think, well, you have RK Bro winning, but you said Street. I'm going to go Street Profits because I think, man, I love Randy Orton, but this RK Bro shit, get him off of it. I need him to turn heel again. I need the Viper.
You know, it's WrestleMania. There's going to be a lot of favorable finishes, a lot of babyface finishes, and, you know, make the crowd go home happy. But you know there's going to be some heel wrinkles in there. And knowing what match card that there might be, you have to think this is one of those matches that does have the potential to go to the heels or there to be a major heel turn specifically because they got to balance the shows out.
Yeah.
I know at some point they also rumored, I know it's not on the match cards, that they're trying to shoehorn in Almost with a match, which is like their legit shoot Nigerian giant that's in the company. And a lot of people are in his camp, like Scott Hall,
Kevin Nash,
Oh, damn.
The Undertaker were all advising him. The Undertaker specifically told him, if they tell you ever to do anything that you don't like or is shit, call me. Gave him his cell phone
He's
number.
like, I'll take care of you.
Exactly correct.
Kevin Nash on Broken Skull said, he asked him about him because he was working with him and said, he's fucking money.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And when Kevin Nash
There's
to me is
something
not a bullshitter.
No, there's something there for sure. I just think that he's definitely not ready, especially after the promo that he did on Monday Night Raw, which I did see that was horrific. The post-match, promo.
But I like what they're building him up. They're making him look like a fucking badass.
They need to put a mouthpiece with him. I think
for sure.
They've got a couple people in the company that they could use. I don't know if you know this, but Drake Maverick is back with the company. He's working as a producer.
That would be good.
I think Drake Maverick would be a good one because it would help accentuate his size. Drake Maverick's a short guy. He's like...
Who can talk.
Yeah, below 5'5" in height. And then the other person that they actually have, somebody that they've had for a while that they haven't done much with other than a bunch of bullshit with managing chicks, is Robert Stone. I think he would be a good...
Robbie E.
Yeah. I think he would be a good shit-talking heel, bump-taking manager. That's exactly what he needs. That's all he needs.
This is wild. What about, because he's a producer, what about bringing back old Gregory Helms Hill?
I don't hate that.
I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
But I'd rather see Brother Love.
Oh, Brother Love.
I love you.
Doesn't mean, just because I love you doesn't mean I like you. That'd be cool too.
Brother Love needs to come out and manage Almost. That'd be fucking hilarious.
I don't know if people would be like, this doesn't, it's like when he
It probably doesn't age well.
No, yeah.
For sure. Oh, we didn't mention who Almost has been rumored to wrestle, though.
Bobby Lashley. Who's been hurt.
Yeah, who has been hurt. And I love Bobby Lashley with MVP.
Oh, it's great.
So Bobby Lashley with MVP is actually one of the better packages I think they've done in some time with a manager. But I could also see they might be setting up here MVP turning on Bobby Lashley to manage Omos, and that would be money.
That would also be great. Because Bobby Lashley doesn't really need to. Like,
No.
this sounds bad, but he doesn't need to talk anyway if he was a babyface. Like,
Right.
He's already, I don't know. He's a badass. He doesn't need, he's not the greatest promo in the world, but if he turned babyface, I wouldn't be mad.
No, he could withstand a babyface turn right now. So I wouldn't be shocked if that doesn't happen.
And he was a great on Broken Skull, if you haven't watched that.
Bobby Lashley?
Yeah,
I
it's a good
did,
one.
and it was really good.
Missouri Valley alum.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
know.
crazy.
Which is wild.
That is
He
wild.
went to Missouri
sure.
Valley.
Yeah, and actually Kane came out of Missouri as well. He's from Missouri initially.
Oh, really? I thought he was
Yeah.
from, like...
No, he's from Missouri initially. He lives in
gotcha.
Tennessee now, Knox
I
County.
gotcha.
But yeah, Kane's
I think
actually from
I
Missouri.
think he went to Mizzou, maybe? No.
I think he played at MSU.
I was going to say, played
maybe.
football, didn't he?
Something.
Yeah, or Southern Missouri
Yeah.
State. Yeah.
Something.
But I know that he played college ball in Missouri for sure.
Matchup number 5 for night 2 is Edge versus AJ Styles for the singles match.
So I think this has the potential to be the best match.
Oh,
What do you
without
think?
question. I mean, Edge has been phenomenal. I'm glad Edge is doing heel, and I think AJ Styles is a better babyface than he is a heel because he can do so much. And Edge, dude, when I first started watching WWE again, like as a kid, it was with him and Cena. Like I fucking hated him. So
Right.
Edge is in my top heels ever.
Yeah.
So
I like him working heel more than babyface.
and what he's doing right now is fantastic.
He's so good. Like you appreciate his heel work though. He's like a likable heel in that regard because you respect
the
work that he's
craft.
putting
Yeah.
in. Right, for sure. AJ Styles has been kind of booked, in my opinion, very middle of the road, very 50-50 booking on
Omos
him.
and the tag team,
Right.
and
He's kind of been a jack of all trades, and he deserves his WrestleMania moment because more times than not, he's lost at WrestleMania, actually. He lost to Jericho. He lost to Undertaker. I can't remember what other match he had at Mania in this run of Manias. But I think it's time that AJ gets a win, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think he should win.
And I think that
And then they could extend the feud.
Edge losing doesn't do anything to him, you know.
And they
I
can
think
continue-
it hurts AJ to lose.
They could continue it. Like that would be
Absolutely.
a SummerSlam match. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, they can draw this thing out.
Oh, for sure. They're the two people that I trust the most and comfortable and would like the most for them to draw it out if there's any post WrestleMania feud. Yeah.
Speaking of which, AJ Styles, top 5 wrestler all time for me. I know that's
He's
probably
great.
a strong take.
No,
but
it's not strong. I mean, that's why, he's literally been doing it for 20 years now.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
I remember I first saw him in I suppose technically the first time I saw him in TNA, whenever they first popped off. But he was in the WCW
Like the last couple months.
Cruiserweight tag team tournament that they did,
Yep.
where they were trying to launch a tag team Cruiserweight division. And he was incredible in that,
Yep.
though, too.
Kidman and Rey Mysterio were the champions of
Yes,
that.
they were. And phenomenal workers as well.
Maskless Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, very odd to see. Even though I
Even
know
though-
it happened and I lived it, it's still...
It is weird.
And they
That is
pretend it
weird.
never
weird.
happened.
I don't
Right.
remember Rey Mysterio never having a mask. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Like, I believe that
You know
that
Vince is taking his mask before he retires.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I don't know how it isn't, but if anybody deserves to keep their masks, it's certainly him.
Right. All right. Number 6 in the final fight, or matchup, I should say, of night 2 will be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
So this is the money match, the needle mover.
Oh,
without
absolutely.
question.
The best in the world, bar none. Roman Reigns, my favorite wrestler currently.
Yeah. Roman
Not
is
even
the
close.
entire package. Since he's went heel, he's acted more natural and more himself. This is long overdue. He's been on the best year and a half or whatever, how long it's been run now, essentially, or it will be. He has just been absolutely the MVP of wrestling, in my opinion. The next person that's closest to him is MJF, but it's still a distant second because Roman's been that good.
Oh, he's been phenomenal. And
And
anybody
everything he's touched or been involved with has been that good.
acknowledge me. I love him.
Acknowledge me.
I love Roman. I mean, 5 years ago, I had a different take on Roman, but he is my favorite.
Absolutely, everybody
And
did.
People that say, "Oh, Roman's a piece of shit," but how do you know that? He's finally getting to be a heel. He's a good-looking guy. Show it. Paul Heyman helps.
Right.
This is. I don't understand how anyone could hate Roman Reigns. He's legit a needle mover.
Right.
So, CM Punk's back. Go look at followers, ratings.
Right.
Who people know.
Absolutely.
You ask 10 people on the side of the street who they're going to know. Is it CM Punk
Absolutely.
or Roman Reigns? Not shitting on CM Punk. I'm just saying Roman Reigns is a bigger star than what people think.
Absolutely.
Like the hardcore fans.
Yeah, so Roman was being shoved down everybody's throat. Let's, just call it for what it was.
But so was
Vince
The
was
Rock at one
absolutely-
point.
Yeah,
So
but
was
that's-
Cena.
That
at
was
one
the
point.
backlash on The
Yeah.
Rock. How did they fix The Rock? They turned him heel.
Yep.
That's exactly it. How did they fix Cena?
He just
they
didn't.
let Cena do. It was really a heel gimmick, but it got over as a babyface gimmick. It was like the cool heel thing, like the NWO and that sort of stuff
Yeah.
in that regard. But that was him doing the freestyles.
Yep.
That's what got Cena over. But it
Yep.
was real heelish. He was out saying homophobic stuff. He was out saying sexist stuff to people, but it got over with the crowd. Everybody loved it. So in turn, they turned him babyface.
And now they love him because he hasn't been on TV. If John Cena came
Right.
back for a full year run, I wouldn't miss a Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view.
Well, if he came, whenever he came back for that brief period, to
loved
do
it.
a little run with Roman
Loved it.
on Roman's heel run.
Had my
It was
favorite
fantastic.
match of last year.
It was good.
Roman and Cena. I'm sorry,
It
that was
was
my
good.
favorite match of 2021.
So Brock, now that he's been working babyface, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but this is my favorite Brock I've ever seen, and he's been wrestling since I think 2001 or 2.
2001, yeah.
So yeah, he's having an incredible run. It's, in my opinion, it is kind of taking a chapter out of the Stone Cold playbook. He's this kick-ass babyface, country boy, good old guy, hunting, fishing, swearing, just stomping a mud hole in your ass in
Cowboy
many
hat.
respects. But this is a motherfucking Viking that is like genetically superior.
Oh, dude. Dude's huge. You're
Pat
right.
McAfee said it perfectly. If the aliens came down here and said, "Bring us your stoutest warrior," and we would send Brock Lesnar, and they would run. He is alpha. He is the number one piece of genetic material on this earth.
The real genetic freak. Sorry, Scott Steiner.
For sure. And so I think, a lot of people think that Roman's winning this unification. I don't think so. I think Brock's winning it because Brock is actually being advertised for matches beyond this, number one.
Oh, if they end
They
this,
have to capitalize with Brock winning. The people are behind Brock winning this. And Roman's already had over 450-day run as champion. So
he could feud with Cody when Cody comes in. I want a Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns feud.
I do, but I feel like WWE is very big about not acknowledging anybody else's work. So let's start there. But they're missing an opportunity with Cody Rhodes because he can be the hottest heel in the business.
Yeah, I mean, he's already he was, before he left AEW, he was arguably one of the biggest heels there because people were fucking hated him.
Yeah,
and he wasn't trying to be
right.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to be hated. It's like
Exactly.
he said I'll never turn heel.
Yeah, people just turned on him, and the people, when you start telling the crowd what they're going to do, that isn't going to go well for you.
Right. It's going to backfire. Right.
You're going against what the crowd's uprising is.
So that's why they hated Roman for so long.
Exactly.
So if they make Roman babyface again, after, I'm gonna be pissed. Keep him.
He needs to stay heel for a minute. This needs him losing this match. He needs to go back and pick up the pieces. There needs to be some ambiguity, I got to get my mind right. Get these cousins out of here. That sort of talk.
Turn on the Usos.
Yeah, turn on the Usos.
Right.
Do something different.
Well, and also
just repackage.
This is it's going to unify the title belts, right?
Right,
which
right.
is great.
So I think that's great too because that's going to make the champion go
Make
from
the
show
brand
to show.
split over.
Right.
I feel like
Yeah.
WWE will get better once the brand splits over. Which
Yeah,
already.
rumor has it that Nick Khan is against, and he's making a lot of the business decisions now for WWE. That some of the other hurdles, if you will, have been moved out of the way, like Triple H and those sorts of people in some respects. Rumor has it because of all these awesome deals that Nick Khan's negotiated, like the Fox deal and so on and so forth, and the Peacock deal, that Nick Khan is perhaps even going to take over the company's operations in the future. I mean, there's a lot of rumors shaking and stirring going on right now. I know that he in particular is against the brand split, wants everything unified, wants there to be no limitation.
Better matches because they don't have a deep roster anymore. They don't have the Heath Slaters
all the
and Kurt
layoffs,
Hawkins
yeah.
and Rhinos to
all the talent layoffs, and then secondarily they weren't moving up talent to the main roster and featuring them either. They were burying them out the gate. So you'll never make your own new stars whenever you do that.
They're low pole on the the lowest man on the totem pole right now is like Shelton Benjamin, and that's he's fucking great.
Right, absolutely.
He's losing in a 2-on-1 handicap match to Omos, which I like
Right.
for Omos. I'm going on a tangent here, but
Oh, you
Shelton
did.
Benjamin deserves more respect than that.
He's deserved more respect in the entire business for the longest time.
So that's just he
Yeah,
has the
he's been
greatest match on Raw
shortchanged.
history.
I agree. Was that the one with Shawn Michaels?
Yep, the
Yeah.
super kick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the super kick.
That was when
fantastic.
Shelton was like Intercontinental, like when
Yeah.
he was an important Intercontinental champion for me.
Kind of the gold standard, right?
Yeah, that's something I remember. I looked forward, another tangent. Sorry,
Yeah.
Shelton
absolutely.
Benjamin, we love you.
Come on the show, Sheldon.
Yeah,
I think that Brock is winning. Do you think Roman's winning? What's your opinion?
man,
Where they going with
you
it?
got to keep Roman because
Yeah.
I want Cody Rhodes to come in there. He's going to feud with Seth Rollins. I just want Cody to come in there and
So if
it be worth his time.
Let's get back to that. So if Cody's coming back and he is fighting Seth Rollins, one would assume he's coming back as a babyface because he doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
It's
he
in
wants to
Texas.
be a babyface.
Dusty.
It's in Texas, yes. So that's the Rhodes family has deep roots there. Dusty's from there. Dustin's from there. Cody's kind of more of a Georgia boy.
Yeah.
His life when he was born, they were toward the end of WCW and all that there. So I think that he's coming back as a babyface because he's facing Seth Rollins. So to your theory, that is a good possibility then.
But
if you take that
you
into
can keep Brock
consideration.
involved. Like,
And if the brand split is ended, it's irrelevant who he fights and when he fights them. He's not going to be limited to, he's coming out and fighting Rollins and Rollins is on Raw. So now that means he won't fight Roman because he's on SmackDown. Well, if they're ending the brand split, it doesn't matter. Or if Roman is champion, and to your point, and does go from brand to brand or show to show, then he'll have the ability to interact with everybody on the roster.
yeah.
So-
Or, if Brock could win, then he could feud with Brock Lesnar. Cody Rhodes feud would be fucking awesome, too.
Now that I'd be into. Babyface Brock Lesnar, heel Cody Rhodes.
Either way, Brock, heel, it don't matter. I'm in. I just want them to bring Cody in and not, I want it to be
imagine?
like, oh, wow, some of these AEW people will start to think like,
Cody's last match was with Sammy Guevara.
fantastic.
Excellent match. Actually, one of the better matches they've had in a long time
Scared
on TV.
me. Make me nervous, though,
Yeah.
with all the bumps they took.
And Cody's had largely good matches. I haven't seen him have a bad match,
No.
really, honestly. He is was the most consistent performer in AEW.
Without question. Besides MJF.
Yes. Yeah, let's qualify that. MJF ain't going to be touched. I think, obviously, but I'm saying that since it began, and I'm sure that you mean the comment in the same way. One could make an argument for CM Punk, but he's only been back less than a year now.
Yeah, and he's
like
still,
6 months.
to me, like, he's good, but I still think it's not the same.
He hasn't had the impact that people expected him
No,
to have. I
all
think that's
of
a part
them-
of the disappointment.
Oh,
I think he's been great, though.
his return is better than Hogan turning heel. You're fucking high.
No, that's stupid.
Who?
Yeah.
No. Or Brett and like they saying it's like top 3 moment ever. I'm like,
No.
you're insane.
The only perspective that somebody can make that argument is it did seem so much like that he was so dead set, he being CM Punk, that he was not coming back. And nobody thought he was coming back to wrestling. And it took Tony Khan and, a big fat stack. I think he's
a
making
guy that
$5
has more
million a
money
year.
than Vince McMahon,
Yeah.
and who isn't
Money
Vince
talks,
McMahon.
bullshit walks, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's a big reason that he's back, obviously. But he's serviceable. He's doing fine.
he's him and MJF had a great feud. I'm not
I love the dog
shitting
collar
on him,
match. Love
but
the
I
dog
think
collar match.
I get a good friend of mine who is a big CM Punk fan. Gives me shit. He's like, CM Punk's punk rock. He's DIY, and I'm like, Roman Reigns is like corporate. I can't believe you like all these bands and all these people, and you like fucking Roman Reigns. I'm like, dude, Roman Reigns has literally worked his ass off. He's the
Right.
definition of all of.
How can you hate on a guy at this point, too? This was kind of a big deciding factor for me, too. Outside of all the interviews I'd ever hear about Roman Reigns, it's like, oh, no, he's the coolest guy. Don't listen to this shit online. Or,
Yeah.
like Jericho on
Says
his
he's great.
podcast. Yeah, well, the best worker in the business.
Yeah.
There's consistently, even Kenny Omega has said if there's any one person in the world that he could wrestle, it's Roman
And
Reigns.
I would buy that match.
I would as well.
Like
It'd be
Tokyo Dome?
excellent. Absolutely.
Like if Vince would let him do Tokyo
yeah,
Dome and
that'd be
Tony.
fantastic if they did a cross promotion.
Boy, man. Whew. I would buy it.
So let me ask, what are your opinions of the 2-night extravaganza with WrestleMania? I've heard this argument and allegedly they haven't sold all the tickets. Last time I heard, they were like a little over 50% sold. WWE does this thing, you saw it at Royal Rumble, where the last minute they do the whole yield management thing. You know, they drop the ticket prices down if they don't sell out like they should as they get closer to the show to help pick up those ticket sales.
Right.
Even if it's dirt cheap. Like, the tickets that I bought were only $100 a piece. They were down like on the front row of the actual, you know, stadium style seating.
Just make sure
I wasn't
they
on the
sell
floor,
them.
but
Right.
you know,
Still damn good seats
so,
for
yeah,
$100, right?
That's where I was at.
Right.
So that's the second biggest wrestling pay-per-view of the entire year across the entire business. Without, I mean, I guess I'm not talking about Tokyo Dome. I don't know what the rates are like there
Right.
to go see a match, but certainly American ticket prices, they're going to do the same thing with WrestleMania to fill it out. But I know the advance notice of this card, you know, they're telling you what the card is a little bit closer to the WrestleMania date nowadays. Used to be, you probably knew at least 2 months, if not 3 months in advance,
Like
what
who
the
was
WrestleMania
fighting.
card was going to look like.
Right.
That would help drive ticket sales also.
Right, because you knew who to expect, right?
So this year, and now the businesses went this way. They're even making up the match card even day of, like you mentioned earlier. You know, they announce a match maybe for the pre-show the day of or whatever the case is. So, you know, I could see two folds of the argument. There was a year that you came over to my house and WrestleMania was like 6.5 hours long, Jake.
Yeah.
And so, you know, at that time it seemed, yeah, you could split it up between 2 nights.
Right.
And make it easier on everybody, sell twice the tickets, all that stuff. But the problem I have with this 2-night thing is you start to water down the product because then you're shoehorning in matches.
Right.
You know, it's not as if...
Trying to make more.
Right. You know, just being on WrestleMania is a privilege. It's the
Right.
best pay-per-view of the year. You know, not everybody needs to be on WrestleMania. Not everybody has to have a payday on WrestleMania. You can still have a relatively large ticket, but make it a one-night thing. Still make it 3.5 hours long. Just put your best stuff out there. You want to always leave people wanting more.
More, yeah.
You don't want to oversaturate the people. You don't want to oversaturate the product. In fact, you may get people, you know, to tune into this initially and go away because, quite frankly, they're probably shoehorning in some trash matches. Like we call them bathroom break matches.
Right.
Like, I've got no interest in it. The general public's going to have no interest in it. It's going to be very JoJo-esque and come off on TV, you know,
It's
very
just
fruity.
filling up airtime.
Yep.
Right. So, my opinion is, particularly right now coming back out of the pandemic too, like, it's going to be challenging selling all your tickets. Why not go back to the one-night method at least and narrow down the card? And then, if you have your problems, then you have that talent pool to pull from and give a quality product. I would be more concerned about giving a product that everybody would be talking about, at least for some period of time,
Right.
rather than trying to sell 2 nights worth of tickets and giving a half-ass piece of product.
Yeah.
Where are you at on that, Jake?
I agree, but I also understand why they do 2 nights because, like we said, you know, when they had the 7-hour, 6-hour WrestleManias, you're wearing, but also, you know, it seems like night 1's kind of light compared to night 2. Night 2, you got Edge and AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. So, you know, I would be almost. This sounds terrible, but I would almost be, besides one match on night 1 and the Kevin Owens thing.
Right.
I would just, the rest of night number 1 could be taken off for me.
Now,
I'm largely
how are they going to
night
do
one.
that with the night 1, night 2 thing?
So it's all on Peacock.
Okay.
So it's going to be the same time each night. You're going to tune into the network. I think it's like 6. And you're just going to, night 1's going to be the night 1 card and night 2's going to be the night 2 card. But they're already shaking and moving. Like I saw right before we started recording that actually they moved Edge and AJ Styles to night 1. Why they did that, I'm not sure.
Probably because what
they're
Jake was
supposed
talking
to
about.
have- because they're supposed to have KO and Stone Cold on to end night 1 as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
Maybe they move that to night 2. I know they're going to move this Almost and Bobby Lashley match in somewhere, so maybe the thinking was, well, we'll move Edge and AJ Styles, but then Almost and Bobby can go on night 2. I think they're putting too many of their like super heavyweight talent into one night, though.
yeah.
That's kind of furthers Jake's point.
Right, yeah,
Like
that's what I
night
was
2,
getting at there.
there's a little
If
bit
you're-
more so of that.
If you're going to do 2 nights, spread it out equally.
Right.
So people will watch.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
night 1 right now seems very light, minus the Kevin Owens and Stone Cold and Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. And you said they moved up. So that balances out a little more if they move Edge and AJ Styles. I'm going to watch regardless, and also there could be a surprise. I mean, Cody,
Right.
I mean, Cena, The
Well,
Rock,
you got to think,
know.
yeah, Cody and Seth is getting shoehorned in somewhere too. That might be night one.
Oh God,
as
I
well.
hope so. That could
Could
really
be night two.
that could be like Hardy's coming back moment type in Dallas.
It could be.
They might.
I'm just really uncertain of how the WWE fans will act with them because WWE is very specific. There are fans that watch both, don't get me wrong. But you got to look at the total viewers on AEW, for example. The best they do routinely is 1 million a night on TBS. WWE at least has 1.7 on their worst night, you know. So, and Raw usually does like a 2.5 on occasions on a strong night.
Yeah.
So, you know, that 2 and 3 times people watching the product, there's people watching it WWE that don't watch AEW is my point.
Oh,
Clearly.
yeah, they have
just in
there are
the
people
numbers.
that have no idea what it is.
And Cody hasn't been on WWE
In
TV
6
since
years.
2016. I think it is, right?
His last match was on Superstars as Stardust. I
Wow.
saw the thing. He lost to Zack Ryder on Superstars.
Yeah. So I remember him asking for his release. I feel like it was in 2016.
May of 2016.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So it's been that long he's been out in WWE.
And he had a different gimmick.
He
the
did.
Last time he was there.
And
at
he
the
hasn't
end.
been Cody Rhodes for even longer than that.
Shit. To
Dashing Cody
2013,
Rhodes.
2012. I mean, he was Stardust for the last couple of years he was there.
Yeah, right. So I think that while I love WrestleMania as appointment television, you have to watch it if you're a wrestling fan, even if you're a casual fan. You know, there's usually something at every WrestleMania, hence the celebrity matches and feuds and that sort of stuff. It's just a spectacle.
Right.
It's on par with a Super Bowl. You know, it's on par with a World Series. You know, it brings the stars out as well. You know, it's again, it's an appointment event, it's appointment television. So WrestleMania is always going to sell itself in that regard as well. But I also feel like this is kind of a weaker WrestleMania in many respects.
Oh, yeah.
It's got its heavy hitters, don't get me wrong.
Oh, for sure.
But they need to make more stars. And
Yeah,
and they are having direct competition. There's other companies out there like an AEW, an Impact, formerly TNA
Which
Wrestling.
they're kind of not in the complete shitter. They got a lot of WWE guys
they're
there
starting
now.
to circle back around with a little bit more talent and stuff.
I actually been watching it. I like Moose. I like Brian Myers.
right.
Big Cass. Like, there's
Right.
quite a few guys.
Yeah. And there's room, and GCW is getting a little bit of shot in the arm as well.
Oh, yeah, with Cardona.
NWA as well. So there's a lot of other, I wouldn't even call them rival promotions. Just
The places you
more
can
independent.
make money.
But yes, you can definitely make money, especially with things open up with COVID again. Mention that again. The fact that there's more places to do more things and make more money out there. The wrestling business is thriving. It's just in a different respect. Is it Attitude Era-esque as far as TV ratings and merch sales? Probably not. Okay, Stone Cold still is one of the highest merch sellers in WWE present day.
Wow.
The NWO, excuse me, is also one of the
Cena.
biggest merch sellers. Cena,
Right.
You know, so these are guys that 20, 25 years ago were in prominence. And speaking of which, I think it's like the 25th, 26th year, I guess now, coming close to anniversary of the NWO.
Oh, yeah, this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty crazy. Last year we celebrated the 25 years. So it just tells you how long the business has come along.
Just makes me feel really
where
old.
it's went. We talked about many of the exciting talents to check out. So, you know, even if you guys you're listening to the show and you haven't listened to or seen any pro wrestling recently, maybe you can pick up on some of the names. What I would recommend to somebody doing, go to Google, YouTube, just type in the wrestler's name, 15 best moves. That'll at least set the hook for an interest.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of those compilations out there on the web, or they'll do the 15 best moves of this one and that one. You see a guy that does some cool moves and you like his look, find out what promotion he's in.
Right.
Watch a episode, see if you like it.
Give it a shot.
You know, that's what got me started back in the business, back into watching it back about 2015, 2016, was a lot of the things that were happening on the independents with the Bullet Club and so on and so forth, brought me back into the business. You know, so present day, I'm just back into it almost as much as I was back in the day. Now I'm an adult with a big boy job that can afford the pay-per-views and things of that ilk. Where when I was a kid, I could only watch what was on TV.
Right.
So, you know, start there, see what's on TV, see what you like.
Or even sharing that with your son, you know what I mean? That's
Absolutely.
a really good bond for you and your son. So, and I
Who's
know my
Arlo's
kids-
favorite?
Arlo loves a lot of people, but Darby Allin was his favorite for a while. He was on CM Punk for a minute. MJF's his favorite bad guy. Chris Jericho is one of his favorite bad guys. He was pretty into Cody Rhodes. He likes Sting. He loves Ricochet. I don't know if Ricochet would be his favorite. He's kind of on the fence with that. He likes the Hardy Brothers together.
See, like Kofi Kingston. A lot of kids like Kofi Kingston.
He doesn't really like Kofi, but also Kofi's been hurt, not hurt. And
Yeah, that's
In
true.
and out of it.
yeah, kind of in and out of it. He did like Big E when he was champion.
Mm-hmm.
So he likes mostly good stuff.
Okay.
I mean, there's things that are geared towards kids that he likes. He likes Luchasaurus a lot, and I don't, obviously. But and that's fine. He needs to have his own stuff that he's into, and that stuff is geared toward kids in
Right.
some respects. But I like Jungle Boy, so it's not like all for a loss when we're watching Drax.
And plus, you get
Express.
to hear Tarzan Boy.
Yeah,
One of the greatest
nothing
songs
beats that.
ever.
And that's another interesting thing with AEW, for example, as well, is that they are, commissioning songs to be played. They use a Pixies song, "Where Is My Mind," for Orange Cassidy.
Oh, nice.
Jericho, of course, he's in Judas, or not Judas, excuse me, Fozzy, but comes out to Judas, and he is a Judas right now.
Rancid with Ruby Soho.
Yeah, Rancid with Ruby Soho.
Yeah.
CM Punk comes out to, of course, Cold Personality, but came out to AFI at the last pay-per-view.
Which was fucking awesome.
Which was incredible.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
His Ring of Honor theme song.
What song was it? What AFI song?
It was the opening track off of Sing the Sorrow, I think.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm trying to think what
it
track
was
that
it was
is.
kind of a more of a droney. I'd have to look it up.
That's pretty cool, though.
But yeah,
Good for him.
it was excellent.
Yeah,
it was
that's
really
cool.
good. And I know that Malachi Black used Into Arma for his entrance music, like metal music,
That's cool.
like black metal and stuff. So yeah, and then Andy Williams from Every Time I Die, the
He's a wrestler.
He's a wrestler.
Right.
He's in the Butcher and the Blade gimmick.
Yeah.
And he wrote their intro music for them as well.
I guess he's probably going to get pretty heavy into it now, I would assume.
Oh,
As
absolutely.
a career choice.
Yeah, no question.
So,
I think that we've kind of laid out the table. We've got WrestleMania tied up with a bow, and we perhaps have set the table for you guys to go check out some things that
I've
you
learned a
perhaps will
lot.
be interested in.
I've learned a ton.
And we're happy to have had Jake on. It ain't going to be the last
Thank
time,
you.
Yeah,
Jake.
thank you,
We'll
sir.
have you back.
Appreciate it.
We know you know a lot about sports as well and music, so
Hell yeah.
we're going to do some music-themed and sport-themed stuff in the future. We'll probably have you back for some of that stuff if you're down to come
I'm
back.
ready. Absolutely. This is great, and you guys are doing a cool thing. And
Yeah, I hope I brought enough to the conversation for you
Oh,
guys.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I appreciate
You didn't
guys
bring enough to
filling
that
in.
twisted tea over there,
yeah,
though.
hopefully,
Yeah, I still got to get into that.
hopefully you go and check some stuff out. Like
Yeah.
MJF, I'm telling you, you'll love them.
Yeah.
I definitely do need to get back into it.
MJF is that preppy kid in school that you always wanted to kick right square in the nuts.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah,
Perfect.
if you want to flesh out your
Well, I went to
hate-
Farmington, so
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, check out MJF. You'll love to hate him. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. We want to thank our guest today, the babyface Jake Jackson.
So informative.
Very informative, very intelligent.
I learned so much.
Ladies, he's available as well. So, hit the boy up.
Hit the
We're gonna
boy
be-
up on the socials.
Yeah, we're going to be tagging his socials on the show feeds as well, so you can get with him. I always enjoy talking to Jake because he knows, even though he's a younger guy, at least comparatively to us, he knows a lot. He's a student
Very
of
knowledgeable, right?
the game. Whether it's pro wrestling, music, sports, he's like one of the few people that I talk to all the time about all three. He's got a lot of eclectic interests and knows a lot, even things before his time.
Right.
He's a 90s baby,
Researched it.
late 90s baby, I think. And so, going back.
He's a late 90s baby?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So he's a youngster. So
I didn't realize that.
So ladies, you can break him in too. So
Yeah, some of you older ladies with that experience.
yeah, and he don't discriminate. He likes them in all types. He likes them old, young, and in between. He likes them thick, skinny, in between. So don't hesitate to hit a boy up. So we want to get back into talking about our other social media avenues that we did mention at the open of the show that you can hit us up at. We're on Instagram, the ATI Podcast, Twitter at podcast_ATI, Facebook.com/ATI Podcast 22. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/ATI Podcast, YouTube, channel is ATI Podcast. Josh mentioned the TikTok at the beginning of the show. Josh, you want to hit him with that again?
It's just at ATI Podcast on TikTok.
And we're going to make sure that we get our flow codes and flow pages updated to include the TikTok now as well. But all of the other sites that I mentioned earlier are on those, and they are the link listed as our websites on all of our social media platforms and our contacts as well. So again, don't get overwhelmed, rush to the phone and try and punch this stuff in. You can just, if you land on one of them, and it's now just as simple as going to Google and putting in our name. We've got a lot of online exposure now. We're casting a wide net here.
Yep.
Again, if you want to hit us up, give us a suggestion. You can DM us on social media, but we also have the email address, atipodcastquestions@gmail.com. So thanks for sticking in for another episode with us. And
Appreciate
next
you
week,
guys.
look out for some exclusive old school content talking about
throwback.
some conspiracy theories and celebrity death conspiracy theories. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, this is Barrett from ATI Podcasts. Each week, Josh and I, as well as our featured guests, will discuss current events, sports, entertainment, games, movies, TV, politics, pop culture, and so much more. We're going to have local artists and small businesses to promote their work and their endeavors on our show. We are now on podcasting platforms such as Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and even SoundCloud. Follow us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Like, share, follow, and most important, listen to the show. Just search for ATI Podcast. We want to thank you for your continued support, and hey, stay safe out there.